feel like every time I'm in here, there's a new table.
That's the same table.
It's just like modular or some shit.
I did cut the ends off of it so it'd be shorter.
There you go.
This is the best iteration of the room for camera angles. The worst iteration of the room for like conversation.
Really?
I don't like how far we're apart.
I love it. Yeah. Well, it also helps like getting people to talk louder.
Okay. Oh, that's a good idea. I need to.
Yeah. When you space each other out.
Uh-huh.
Because people fucking don't talk very loud sometimes.
You gotta like force that thing. It's so fucking finicky.
So you just gotta adjust it higher and let it fall down.
Yeah. I think the next, if I stay here, the next iteration is going to be a couple of chairs. Like, still facing each other kind of, but more like lounge.
No desk.
No desk.
Like fucking,
yeah.
like antique fucking lounger
comfortable
chairs.
Like stuff where you're sitting in so you feel good in it.
Mm-hmm.
Not like you're just propped real high and awkward. So I've actually gone to see 3 different chairs I found on Marketplace, like sets. And I'll come out, I'm going to buy it now. But then I'll walk in. I need to sit on them first, and I'll sit on them like, this ain't it.
Yeah.
Sorry, man. I'm not interested.
Not all chairs are made the same.
They're not, dude. You got to find the right ones.
Especially when you're going for a look, too.
A look, and you want people to be comfortable when they're sitting in here. And you
want them to not look retarded.
Exactly.
Fuck, I had this one chair in Milwaukee. I love the way it feels. But, dude, when I see myself with the camera, I'm like, oh, you look fucking retarded in that chair.
But, yeah, that's 100% the thing. Is
there a booger in my nose? You guys see that? Okay, cool.
Put it on the mic.
Jace, what's happening?
What's happening, man?
There's fucking rain.
So we're podcastception in here, right? You're doing me, I'm doing you.
Whatever you want to do here.
Well, I was ready. I don't know. I've been wanting to talk to you for a while. We've been kind of trying to coordinate this all, this year almost.
Well, we hardly have anything going on. It's amazing we can't do this every week.
I know. We don't live that far apart, right?
I know. I was talking to somebody on the way over there. Like, I told them I was headed over here, and they're like, well, where are you at? And I'm like, well, I just left my house this morning. Like, I can just drive to Jace's shop, you know? It's right. It's not very far. It was fucking further on the map when I looked up this morning. It said it was fucking 2 hours away. I was like, God damn, is it really that far away?
It was just traffic, though, probably when you had to leave.
Oh, the fucking rain. It's all fucked up.
Yeah.
People are retarded. Yeah. And I took the back road, so it took me like 2.5 hours.
Where you live has some great back roads. I've actually ridden quite a bit of them.
The best back roads, dude.
Yeah.
You just leave my house and go south. It just gets fucking so good. Like, dude, I can go all the way from my house, dude, down to the Twisted Sisters, to the back roads into the hill country, fucking River Road, Devil's Backbone, and very few lights for hours. For hours.
Yeah, a couple. Even if you go north of you, like Weatherford, all the way up into Possum Kingdom and all that. Oh, yeah,
around PK is good, yeah.
So if I was to move somewhere, I would probably want to live out that way in Dallas. Like if I was going to buy a house in a different part of Dallas, Fort Worth, I'd probably want to go like just west of Fort Worth.
Yeah, the Westerplex is fucking great.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah, it's the Westerplex. Dude, Weatherford, dude, it's like the cutting horse capital of the world. They're filming all fucking Taylor Sheridan shows everywhere. There's fucking movie shoots going on. One night we're on my front porch and I see this fucking like UFO light. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Just lit up, dude. We go chase it down. They're fucking filming, I don't know, 1784. Who knows what they were filming, dude.
They filmed a little bit here in Waxahachie where I live for that Bass Reeves, I think is what it was.
Yeah.
And there's some other show they're working on in Palmer, Texas, I think, that's supposed to be its own show, which is like the town like maybe 10 miles behind.
It's called.
But yeah, it's crazy having all that stuff come here, right? With all the shows being filmed everywhere. It reminds me of like the 80s when it was Texas or Walker Ranger. Texas.
Dallas. Walker, Texas Ranger.
Walker, Texas Ranger. Yeah. That's the word.
We just lost that guy, dude.
Yeah, I know. It sucks. Apparently he wasn't that invincible.
I don't believe it yet.
He's gonna be resurrected in 3 months.
I thought he already was, dude. It takes 3 days. 7 days, right? 7 days. How's that work?
Yeah. What I was thinking about this whenever we were talking about doing this earlier this year, but you started your podcast in 2016, right?
Chase, I think you keep up with that more than I do.
I know that. I knew exactly you were going to say this shit.
Is it 16?
I believe
Because
so.
I was thinking that I've been doing the t-shirt company for like 7 or 8 years now. So yeah, probably 16.
You invited me on in March of 17.
There you go.
And so you
I'm
had
coming
already
up on a year. I think I started in like August or September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, fuck. It's almost been 10 years.
Yeah.
That's crazy to think about.
Uh-huh.
Fuck.
I knew you didn't know that.
You know, that's definitely not one of those things that I keep track of. I don't keep track of a lot of numbers. As my bookie would tell you, I don't keep track of any numbers, really.
Yeah. It's crazy, dude. Yes, I got to thank you too, because if you wouldn't have had me on early, I wasn't really listening to podcasts at all. I wasn't really, I wasn't into that. You know what I mean? And then when you had me on and listened to the one, yours coming up, like, what is this? And then that opened up the door to Rogan to me. Mm-hmm. I've already seen clips of Rogan and stuff, on the internet.
That's
or whatever.
how it starts.
But yeah, then like all of a sudden now I'm like trying to watch Rogan from number 1 all the way to like at that.
Really?
Point,
have you listened to the very first one?
No. I tried to go back and like I want to listen to every one. I'm like, it's impossible. He was already at like a 900 something whenever I started listening.
Is he at 5,000 now? What is he at?
I think he's like 2,000 something, maybe almost 3. So he'll do 3 a week.
I typed in 512 last week.
For real?
I think is what the last one I remember.
That's crazy.
Yeah. What number is this?
For me, it would be 463 or
You're
4.
catching up quick, dude.
I'm trying to stick to just a once a week program, and so far this year I've only missed 1 week.
Nice.
But it's been difficult, man. Just trying to haven't been able to travel that much and get out, and fortunately there is a lot of great content. I say content. There's a lot of great people here that have great stories, like the one I just finally got to have with David Brown, but.
Oh, David
I didn't want
Brown's
to force
legendary, man.
I didn't want to force that conversation. I didn't want to just cold call him one day and say, "Hey, I'm Jace. I have a podcast. Can we do?"
Well, now
this?
you got a shovelhead, so you got to go down there and buy parts, dude. He's the only place that has 4-speed parts sitting on the shelf.
Exactly.
That's a very unique thing, not just in Texas, but all across the fucking country.
Yeah. So I spent the last almost year basically going to get advice and buying parts for the shovelhead and the FXR down there.
I love it when you go in there to like ask David for a part. He's like, "Why do you need that?" I'm like, "Well, it's broken." He's like, "Well, why is it broken?" Like, fuck, I don't know. Fuck, I gotta start there, and he'll tell you why you need the part that you need and give you something to fix what caused that problem.
Yeah.
Without, unsolicited and without being an asshole about it too.
Yeah, 100%.
He's fucking great.
He is.
When I first went down there, Jake was sweeping floors. His brother was still there. David was working in the back. But it hasn't changed much, dude. Now fucking Jake is the red eye of the shop. The old disgruntled fucking guy in the back. Working
That's
on
about
bikes.
accurate. Yeah.
You got Corey in there. Liz was back up there for a minute. She adds a whole new fucking flavor to that shop, which I thought I'd never see a girl working in there.
She's cool though. She's got a great personality. You know what I mean? She's on a fucking huge trip right now of her own.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool what she's doing. But yeah, it's I feel like I need, the podcast with a man like that, you got to build a little rapport with that person first before you get them on a show like this to just, so how'd you get started? You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I feel like I got to earn a great conversation with him over like that.
How'd it go?
It was great. I mean, obviously he's been on yours a handful of times, I think. Mm-hmm. And so I think he's versed in this world.
Yeah, he understands what's going on now.
And he just...
the first one I did, it was like pulling fucking teeth there for a minute. And then he finally got comfortable. I did it in his shop. He was sitting in that throne right there at the register. And we're just smoking cigarettes, or at least I was.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's fucking great, dude.
Yeah, he opened up and he told us, I didn't have to do anything really. I just sat here and said, "No way." What? It was a good time though, man.
Yeah, it was story after story after story.
He's got them, dude. He's been running that shop for 50 years.
It's fucking insane.
Right there in Dallas. Great part of town.
Well, we're building a little bit of that of our own in this little podcast world, dude. 10 years. I know you don't think about those things, but I do, and I think it's rad that we're sitting here doing this shit still after so long. You more so than me.
I mean, you're doing it. Fuck, you're about to put out as many podcasts as me, and you started 2 years behind me. Or what'd you say? 1 year, 2 years?
Started technically. You remember we did that podcast? It was all at Kenny Kirk's shop, and we were all sitting in that room.
New Year's fucking roundup or whatever
Yeah.
the fuck I called it.
Remember he cried in that? It was weird.
I did?
No, Kenny did. He got super emotional.
Yeah, I mean, that was a special time, dude. I mean, that was a time worth crying over, really, because that brought a lot of people together. That was a special place, dude. You can't do that in the stockyards right now. You know, like
It's hard to go to the stockyards and not remember what used to be on top of the hill. You know what I mean?
I've been going there for years before that place was ever there. Playing music, drinking, busking on the streets.
Yeah.
Just cruising the fucking strip and whatever clapped out vehicle we were in. Nothing cool, just looking at what everybody else had. Mm-hmm. And then that place came up, and it was like, holy fuck. I didn't know that shit was even happening, you know? I was riding a twin cam, and I seen a show class magazine in California, and I was like, well, fuck this, that only happens in California.
Yeah, yeah.
Turns out there's some motherfuckers in Texas too, and a lot of them.
Yeah. Yeah, that's whenever I got to meet you for the first time and got kind of versed in this whole culture that we had here in North Texas with the chopper scene was 2016. The Southern Throwdown pre-party was the first time I really came out to an event and got to meet, everybody that was kind of involved in this. And it was like a star-studded event too. Max Schaff was down here, fucking all kinds of
Chopper
people.
Dave,
Yeah.
Jonathan Tyler fucking playing music in that garage, just straight killing it, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's when I met fucking Eric Vaughn, dude. That little asshole came up from Houston. I was like, who
shit.
the fuck is this punk?
Yeah, because they started Nitty Gritty in 16 as well. Because this was their 10-year anniversary this year.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that event's grown into something else. Have you been down to that?
Yeah, I've done it for the last 3 years at this new one. And then before COVID, I did like 2 years when it was down at like whatever that place was in Conroe. They used
Backside bar.
to do. Yeah, it had like the alligator in the pond or some shit. Everybody would.
There was no fucking alligator.
I never
in
saw
that
it. I was like,
pond,
dude, yeah, it's bullshit. it was a sales tactic.
There's definitely gators down there, though.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been crazy, man. Like this whole podcast thing.
Now you finally got a chopper 10 years later, dude. Took you 10 years to finally see the light and get a shovel head.
Well,
How's that feel?
It's amazing.
It is amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's nothing like it, dude.
It has to happen at the right time, though. You know what I mean? Like, I think that hear me out on this. Like, if there's certain things that you can get, and if you're not in the right place in your mind and your life, you're never going to appreciate it for what it is. You know what I mean?
It depends on how you get it.
Yeah.
If you'd have just paid for it back then without going through the motions, yeah, you probably wouldn't have appreciated it as much. But
I think that everything that I've done since 2016 has put me in a position where the chopper it is what it is to me now. It's such a visceral experience. It's something that, like, when I walk out in the shop, like I have a brand new Road Glide, these killer FXRs, and I'm like, if this thing starts, I'm riding this. You know what I mean? That's pretty much the way it goes every day.
Where's it at right now? It wasn't down there,
It's at
just
the house, yeah.
It's at the house, fucking raining, huh? Yeah, mine's at the house too.
But yeah, I love it, man. It's also like everything about it removes like the ability to want your mind to wander as much. Like, yeah, I've done a little small trips on it. It's like you can kind of get out there and get kind of, in your head a little bit, but you're just, every time you reach down and shift it, every time you get a little too quick on it and it starts to vibrate a little too much, there's just a lot of feelings and it's just giving you so much more feedback.
Yeah, you're just connected to it more.
Yeah.
You feel there's instant feedback.
And for me, like, I love the pace that it goes. Like I just rode the Road Glide down to Lafayette this past weekend, and it was great. Like, I had no issues. I didn't have to take one single tool with me. It was sick. But, I mean, it was just going through the motions. Like, as much as I want to do the back roads on that Road Glide, I'm also like, man, I can hit the highway and be home in like 6 hours. Like, so there's just like that. As opposed on the Shovelhead, I'm already in like a mindset that I'm not going to be there for a while. I might as well enjoy the trip because there's going to be parts that suck. You might as well just at least have some great visuals and shit like that on the way. So I don't know. I love it.
Me too.
I had told Corey, because Corey from Main Drive is from Lafayette. And I told him, like, dude, once you get your shovelhead back on the road, let's ride these things down there and go hang out. I want to see where you're from. And then the first day I texted him, I was like, hey, remember what I was telling you about riding these shovelheads down here? Yeah, I was just playing, dude. These roads suck, dude.
Yeah, the roads in Louisiana are fucked, dude.
There's like, when you get on a really smooth road, you're like, oh my God, this is
But it's mainly the interstates over there.
Yeah.
Like you get on the back roads. Like the trip me and Stray did back in December, we fucking took off from here to go to the B&B Christmas party. Dude, we had an epic fucking ride. Yeah. Every road we were on was killer.
B&B's in New Orleans,
until
right?
we decided to leave and it was fucking 30 degrees, fucking raining. And we had to get on the interstate. Yeah, B&B's in Metairie.
Okay.
Just this side of New Orleans.
Yeah, it's beautiful down there. I got to spend the whole weekend just now riding through it all. It's pretty insane.
Yeah. So is there like, how does a hog member group ride? How does that work? Do they have like a pre-plan, like meet here for breakfast? There's coffee and donuts. We're all leaving at this time, or is it like?
Well, the way it works is
routes planned.
It's planned routes out of the Cajun Country dealership, which is there in Scott, Louisiana.
Okay.
And so everybody shows up, you register, and then there's like all these routes that if you want to do a route on a guided tour route, they have all those. But you can go down there and just be a part of it and do your own thing. There's lots of challenges and things that like they put together, like take pictures in front of this thing and this and that. And so I see it as a much different thing than what I'm used to in motorcycling, but I see the value in it in the kind of age tier of people that kind of go to that. You know what I'm saying? Like I went there, and as soon as I got there, like this kid was on a shovelhead, and we just ended up hanging out the whole time together, and it was pretty sick. He's from there, and he was showing me all the spots and all the cool little dive bars and stuff like that.
Was it the age of them, or was it like their experience riding more that lined up? Because it seemed like that's like, for some people that need a little incentive.
I think it's the age thing. I think it's a little bit of both, because I think that their experience riding is a lot of them are like gnarly, like mile crushing people. Kind of like, remember Chris Hopper, the 100,000 100 days?
Yeah, he's definitely no hog member.
There's a lot of those guys like that like I met a father mother son combo, and each one is first, second, and third of how many dealerships they visited in the United States this year. And
where are they from?
Outside of what's the base down there? Killeen. It's just like, it's different than like the way I was explaining it. And I'm going to do a whole podcast with Corey about it, but it's basically like I could attest to you, is that we have so much access to so much in motorcycling that we don't really need that for us to feel or to guide us somewhere. You know what I mean? We have so much going on, right? But for the casual motorcyclist, like it's a great tool for them to be able to meet people, networking, kind of a social network kind of thing, or a social club type aspect, right? Where they can do the rides, but then you can also meet someone that is out there smashing miles across the country. So you'll see one person that looks like they don't ride anywhere, but the next thing you know, they're on their 48th state this year. You know what I mean? Next to someone that's like, yeah, we just want to come out and check out the food and do this and do like so there's like a catch-all be-all. And honestly, very much.
How many people were there?
It was about 600, 700, 800, somewhere around there.
Fuck, that's a lot of people.
Yeah, and it wasn't like everybody was leaving at once. Like they had different times.
Yeah, I mean, but for something centered around riding, not just like, hey, come look at bikes in the parking lot.
Yeah, the event at the place was kind of there wasn't.
They had
much
people
going
cooking there on site. What was on site?
No, not really. They just Law Tigers. They had Law Tigers and the insurance company next to each other, which I thought was kind of funny. It's like the two people that kind of fight each other for the most part. But yeah, they don't. And the owner said, like, we used to do bands on that stuff here, but so many people are coming in and out all day that like the band will just be sitting there playing to an empty parking lot. You know what I mean? So, it was cool. The food, fucking amazing.
Yeah.
I love Cajun food.
Fucking boudin balls at the dirtiest gas station you can find, dude.
Yep.
Just sitting under a heat lamp.
Yep, for a day. And it's so good. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
a
the
good time.
B&B guys fucking spoil the shit out of me on food, dude. Every time I show up there, they fucking go overboard, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, boiled fucking shrimp, tons of oysters, smoked hams, fucking, what else? Fucking, these crawfish pies. Oh,
Yeah.
dude. So fucking good.
Yeah, the food's second to none down there for sure.
Yeah, did you bring some cracklings back in your saddlebag?
I didn't, but I ate a shit ton while I was there.
You didn't bring,
know.
you fucking take a bagger there and you didn't fill it up with food to
I
come
had
home?
no space. I had to on my extra pair of shoes. You know, dude, there's not that much
Are you
space.
fucking with me?
No, I had a lot of shit in my bag. I had a whole.
You had extra
all my-
shoes?
I had all my camera.
Would you do
gear,
some
know.
fucking hiking?
That was a joke, dude.
Okay.
You laughed. You got it.
I laughed because I thought you were being serious.
I mean, I thought you were serious.
Yeah.
too.
One of my buddies shows up the other day. He had on these fucking nice ass cowboy boots. And then he had another pair of cowboy boots that were like this fucking tall, taking up a whole saddlebag.
Yeah.
He was serious, dude. That motherfucker had like 5 pairs of shoes, dude.
Yeah.
Maybe more, dude.
Yeah. When I first started traveling on bikes, I used to take like 2 pair of shoes with me all the time, but
You riding shoes and then
stepping out shoes.
Stepping out shoes.
Yeah, yeah.
That's where I wear my mocks, dude.
don't
Yeah,
fix 'em.
I don't know. Well, the thing is, I have to take all this camera gear to go photograph it. So
Yeah.
I have one saddlebag full of laptop lenses, camera.
That thing got a tour pack?
No, I don't. I hate the way tour packs look on bikes. So
Really?
I struggle with that because anytime, my wife.
Well, you've already
wants to-
got bags on it.
Yeah, but there's still.
They flow with the bike better on the saddle.
it could still look cool without a tour pack. I don't know.
I think you could look cool with a tour pack, dude. That street glide I rode down the PCH this year, thanks to
Tay's,
Tay
yeah.
Biff, dude.
Yeah.
We had those bags jammed fucking full, dude. Tay was like, had a fucking, a sleeping bag on his fucking fender. That was all he took. Crammed
Yeah.
everything else in the saddlebags I had.
He's
We
like, you
needed
ride
a
this
tour
bike,
pack.
but the only stipulation is all my shit's going. in.
Yeah, pretty much, dude. Yeah.
How was that trip, man? Fucking Chopper Fest looked amazing. And
Oh man, it's killer. Right there on the fucking beach, dude.
Yeah.
Tons of bikes, dude. Tons that I've seen, tons that I haven't seen. All the David Mann inspired art, even the David Mann originals that were there. What was it, the LFG crew doing the fucking circus games in the back, people getting to ride, and everybody was just stoked too. The weather was fucking
weather
perfect.
looked good.
I was kind of shocked at how few bikes came down the PCH. I mean, it just fucking opened.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was going to be like the main artery of fucking motorcycle traffic down to Ventura.
Mm-hmm.
And we saw like 3 other bikes or some shit. 4. We saw two couples on some fucking Jace painted baggers, dude. They were fucking bass boats riding down that fucking road. They definitely, they might have had all 4 of those bikes painted by you.
Maybe in another life. I don't get that many of that these days. But no, I went out to Parts and Labor at the Biltwell show, and it was one of those deals where the next week was going to be the Chopper Fest. And I was like, man, I was trying to figure out how I could stay out there, but I couldn't swing.
Dude,
it.
it was so good. It was like
That
pulling
ride that
fucking
y'all
teeth
had.
to do the Kickstart competition, though, dude.
For real.
These motherfuckers are scared to make their bikes run. I get it, Those things are hard to start. People looking at you, me yelling at you on a microphone.
I got
Not
to
for
witness Kickstart Mike doing it at Nitty Gritty, and that was the first one I like sat and watched it from start to finish. It's pretty fucking entertaining, man. To be honest with you.
Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's the most fun you can have without your motorcycle moving.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt about it. Dude, at Texas Fandango the other day, all these fucking bikes started so goddamn good. I think there was like 30 of them. We did like 6 tricks. There were still 20 of them left.
Yeah.
Finally got down to pulling plug wires. Like, will it run on one cylinder? Because you guys, they obviously start any other way.
That's how it was going with the Nitty Gritty. All the bikes would start. So, and I'm sure this is the way it works, but like Kickstart Mike had them like doing the spin around, getting.
Oh, there's, and that's what I love is seeing other people do this because they come up with their own fucking ideas.
Okay.
Like Kelvis up in Milwaukee at the Stupid Chopper show, like sent him into the bar, like gave him a mouthful of Malort, which is some nasty liquor, and then they had to come out and kickstart their bike and then see who could spit up the most Malort into a shot glass.
Oh shit.
Roadside Marty does one at what do you call it? What's that show up there? Fucking Smokeout with the Cycle Source guys. I would love to go to one Roadside Marty does, because he is a fucking gem on a goddamn microphone, dude. Fucking love that guy. And then let's see who else is doing one. I think Tiny's going to do one for me at the Live to Ride in Tombstone this year, because I don't think I'm going to make it there. I don't know if he knows that yet, but and then I've got the Easy Company guys. They're going to do it for me at the Idle Hand show up there in New Hampshire. So like, it's cool to like see other people put their spin on it, do it their own way. You know, I give them like the basis of what I do, which is kind of like just fucking make it fun for everybody, you know, and then make fun of these motherfuckers when their bike doesn't start, you know, like that's never happened to me or anybody before. But it's fun, dude. People enjoy that shit a lot.
I think for me, watching it was like pure envy.
Why?
Just
because
seeing
your bike has never started first kick, much less.
I mean, I've got it down to where cold start, I can get it started within a minute for the most part. If things
you got it timed out.
Yeah, yeah.
How many kicks is that though?
Usually,
you can kick it a lot in a minute.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's like,
how fast does it take to start warm, dude?
Warm, I can almost usually, like if I'm riding around all day having fun, it'll first kick for the most part. But like I can't, like when they warm up their bikes at the Kickstart and then they go kick it after it's warmed up.
Yeah.
My warm up needs to be like, I need to ride it from here to the shop or my house or whatever. Like,
nobody said you can't do that.
Yeah. And then it'll pretty much.
So you should come out Saturday. I'll let you ride it around Decatur. This bike can fucking wait, dude. You're already missing your trip on your shovelhead. You need to at least ride to Decatur, dude.
Problem is that Corey
can work here without you, dude. I'm sure you slow him down more than anything.
Yeah. Well, the point of Corey coming over here to work is not just to do the job. It's so that I'm learning something. Yeah, yeah.
Corey's pretty fucking sharp, dude.
Yeah. That's a whole.
No, warming the bikes up really like takes it to the next level. And, you know, I might quit doing that in Texas because so many fucking bikes work so goddamn good.
Yeah.
And I honestly, you know, I don't think that when Kirk Sharp was doing it, you know, he started at Just Kickers and then he would do it at Southern Throwdown. I don't think he was letting us warm up our bikes. I think that was something. The first time I did it was in Red River, New Mexico. I put on an event there called the Texas Takeover. And, you know, just brought a bunch of friends from Texas and we threw a party at the Bull of the Woods. And I had everybody crank up their bikes to warm them up and to just get the crowd riled up because they were like all scattered around the patio area where everybody was hanging out. So to like hear all those bikes running within that small space, you know, it's exciting. It's just like a call to attention. It's like, hey, why are all those bikes running? People will go over there. You don't have to tell everybody. They're like, whoa, there's a bunch of motorcycles running. People just get flocked to that. Yeah. So it kind of calls attention to what's going on. And it gives people a chance to get their bikes, you know, warmed up so they start easier. And we can like start them some funner ways if they're warmed up, you know?
Well, the one thing I've definitely noticed, not to mention like being at events that are chopper centric and just having one now, is that it's like kind of like the car wreck across the street. Like everybody has to watch and look at it. You know what I mean? Not car wreck, it's probably a bad analogy, but like everybody, like when I see someone about to Kickstart, I'm like, all right, let me watch this real quick.
Oh, your eyes are just drawn to it.
Yeah, it's like it's I don't know, it's whether it starts first kick or not. Like, you know, it's just like I want to see how long it takes. What's
going to happen there?
Yeah.
What is going to happen? Is it going to kick back, break his leg? Is it going to slip through the kicker gears and break his leg?
Well, that was probably the first thing that I was scared of. Is like I'd never kicked over a bike before I built that thing.
Not even a dirt bike or anything?
No, I never rode dirt bikes growing up. So we kicked it over, and when we first built the bike, Corey and I, like it was.
Did it come from a runner? Like what did it start off as? Was it a donor bike?
So it started off as a FL 77 FLH, I think is what it was. Like
so, it had a starter on it.
It had a starter on it, but no kicker. So we when we did everything, the transmission and the frame are the only things from the bike originally. That's it. Even the motor, I went ahead and bought one that was already rebuilt. I have the other shovelhead still, but when I do another chopper, I'm not going that route again. I'm starting with like a motor, a frame, and going that direction because I'd spent so much money on parts I never even ended up using at all, right? But the experience of taking that hardtailing.
I mean, I think it's great to start off with a full bike because then there's like a lot of little pieces that you end up having that you end up needing.
I didn't use any of it, man.
Then you just like to fucking because you made your bike all fucking sparkly and
I didn't try to
shiny and shit.
Another thing I learned in this process is how much harder it is to make a bike crusty. Like,
you just got to ride it.
well, yeah, that part. But
My
like,
bike was shiny once, Jace. It was really shiny.
it's
one time.
easy to make it shiny. That's the only way I know how to do it. I never went to the school of make it not shiny. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
School of make it not shiny.
so I mean,
Force of habit is hard to break sometimes.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like, you know, you look at all these parts and like, I know.
Did you
every
want to
way.
make it crusty from the get go? Was that the intention?
I was never making a show bike originally. It was the show bike, or the, if you want to call it a show bike, became that because of the Born Free Texas opportunity. You know what I mean? Originally, I was just trying to put together a shovelhead, and the things I was gonna do rims on it no matter what, because I don't like spoke wheels. You know what I mean? There were certain things I had all the intentions of doing no matter what. So some of my FXR world, I wanted to bring that into the chopper world. But I also wanted an overall aesthetic of what, you know, a traditional, you know, chopper would look like. You know what I mean? I didn't want to go to bat or super huge rear tire. You know, I did want disc brakes, you know, modern things that I'm used to, but like, you know, shit that I'm not used to, like jockey shifts, shifting, no front brake, all that kind of stuff. I wanted it to be a hard bike to ride.
You don't have a front brake on your bike, huh? Mm-hmm. Isn't that awesome?
It's sick. The only time that it has been a couple of funny times where you're like, I remember I was on the way down to Fandango and I was in the park. This is when my bike broke down a little bit later on after this, but I remember I just started leaning too far to the left and I had the clutch in on my foot. And I was like leaning over to the point where I was like, oh fuck. And I was like, I had to take my foot off and it jumped. And it's just like shit like that you don't think about sometimes. You know, if I would have had a brake or whatever the case, or, you know, I realized that it ain't even a big hill that you need to get stuck on in the wrong spot before it's kind of a shit show.
Yeah,
You know,
I mean, any rolling back,
Yeah.
you either got to feather the clutch or do some weird thing with your right foot, or
Yeah, like
hold the
plant
brake,
back
left
kind-
foot down, and
Yeah.
then do the swap out,
Yep.
push the clutch in.
But again, it's part of that like more visceral experience where like you're not just coming up to a light now. And I mean, to the point now where sometimes
Yeah, you're coming up to like a
How am I gonna do
traffic
this?
infraction because you're fixing to run this motherfucker.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what I've done the last couple of times. There's a couple, like, you know, for me to jump on my bike and pretty much go hang out in the places I hang out, I got to ride to Dallas. It's 30 miles, right? So you know, the exits I usually take, now I know the ones that have the hills that if I get stuck at this light, I'm pretty much just going to run the light, or I'm going to lane split or filter to the front at least. You know what I mean? So you just learn all that shit. And it's,
Have you just like backed up and rested your bike on somebody's car behind you?
Nah, I ain't not that.
Dallas? No.
Yeah. Yeah, that's I mean, that's cool, I guess, you know, but like that's just not something I don't want to deal with people in Dallas. Yeah.
People in Dallas love it when you lane split, dude.
They're getting better. I feel like there's so many people moving here from California and they're used to it.
It depends on what time of day you do it. If you do it fucking rush hour, nobody's fucking happy. They are fucking swerving at you. They're honking their horn. It cracks me up. And then like every 15 to 20 cars, one dude will move out of the way.
Yeah.
He'll see you coming and be like, oh, there's plenty of space for this bike to go by.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me move.
Exactly.
I love it when they do that. I fucking slow down and wave at them.
Thank you.
The only
Yeah.
time I didn't like it is construction areas where it gets real narrow, because then they're already pissed off they're in construction and they'll swerve at anything.
Dude, but what's great about doing it on the chopper is it's so narrow that you can just slip through so many things. They're usually more like you can get through spots that obviously you can't get through on a bagger or something like much bigger. So, and usually it's like, I haven't had one person honk. I've been lane spin like a motherfucker, because when you get down to Dallas from here, if you want to go east at all, you pretty much get stuck in perpetual traffic that never ends right there in downtown. It's just always going on no matter when you go through it. So just kind of split for like a mile or so, and then bam, you're back open to free highway and just kind of move through it.
Nobody's ever honked at you.
Not on the chopper. On my bagger, yeah, people lose their fucking mind. You know, but also like if you come through and you scare people, that freaks them out sometimes.
Oh,
you know
dude,
what
I'm
saying?
always just revving it up,
Yeah.
dude. Especially on my Pan America. That fucker's so loud, dude. I'm like, I want you guys to hear me coming.
What's your chopper setup like? How I haven't been able to keep track what motor's in it and everything right now, but
59 with a shovel top, 4-speed ratchet top, disc brake, 2-to-1 gearing, 1621. What do you call it?
Holding out good.
Wide.
That last trip you just on,
Wide glide with some ape hangers.
were you on the Pan America or on the chopper on that last trip you just did with like Brian and all them?
Oh, I was on the Pan America.
Pan America.
Yeah.
Where'd y'all go to?
Paul had a show in Hilotes, played John T. Floor's Country Store. We left from there, did the Twisted Sisters. One of them was wet as fuck. That bitch was soaking wet, dude. And then we went to Hondo to this fucking crazy hunting ranch. Spent a day there, and then took 90 west over the Pecos River High Bridge over Lake Amistad, and stayed in Marathon for a couple days and rode Big Bend.
Oh, sick, dude.
And then fucking jam back. I mean, pretty much all the most epic roads in Texas, we rode them.
Yeah, since I'm pretty much feeling like I'm not gonna be able to make my California trip on the to go to Diablo, I'm thinking about doing just a tour of Texas on the chopper.
Dude, there's so much good riding.
There's so much cool shit to see. And I really want to, I just visually see that bike in the desert somewhere. So taking it out to, Big Bend, Terralingo, all that stuff just sounds so much fun. You know what I mean?
River Road is fucking so good.
Yeah.
I mean, Ross Maxwell, Chisos Basin. I mean, all that shit's fucking epic.
Yeah.
I mean, either any road, like going down from Marathon or Alpine, both those roads are fucking sick, especially when you're hauling ass, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, gradual turns, fucking, you can see forever. There's mountains all around you.
Mm-hmm. It's the 100% the best riding in Texas. And I feel like every time I at the hog rally, a lot of people was like, hey, where's some good riding in Texas? It's like Big Bend, you know? The whole everything, Terralingua, Big Bend, Presidio, Alpine, Marfa, what is it, Fort Davis or whatever mountains?
McDonald Observatory.
It's fucking beautiful everywhere you go up there.
Balmorhea, up to Van Horn.
Guadalupe
Mountains.
Yeah, Van Horn, Guadalupe. That's a sick ride. And then they got the salt flats on the other side of that. It's like there's good stuff out there that you could spend a week if really diving into it if you want to. But
yeah.
But yeah, I finally got a passport so I can go to Big Bend and take that little donkey ride across to go get some tacos finally.
Down to Boquillas Crossing?
Yeah, the first time I went there, everybody's like, no, you don't need a passport. You need that dude would not let us. He's like, no, dude, you don't have a passport. You ain't going over there.
Dude, right now you can just walk across the river. There's a taco stand set up next to the hot springs.
It's right there.
You just fucking walk right across it, buy some tacos.
That's a damn shame.
Fucking first time I went there, we rode the bikes right across the fucking river. Just fucking parked it right
at that crossing, the one I'm talking about,
no.
on the River Road area?
No. Top secret. Yeah.
Can you tell me afterwards?
We fucking rode right down this walking path for, there's a big parking lot. You're supposed to park there, take the fucking walking path down to the river, do the hike. We just rode fucking right. My buddy stopped. He was like, hey, this next part's going to be a little bit illegal. And I'm like, are you fucking kidding? We just rode through the exit gate at 100 miles an hour,
Yeah.
Now this is illegal? Yeah, it was. Turns out, parking your bike in international waters.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It was awesome, dude. I fucking love that area so much.
Oh, it's amazing.
There's still some real outlaw shit that happens over there. Mm-hmm. I did the first 2 tours for DMT, Dangerous Moto Tours, right out there, dude.
Oh, that's right.
There's so much epic shit on road. And there's even more off road there. Like, that's the next level. Mm-hmm. I mean, the whole state park, it's all dirt roads except for River Road. That's the only paved road in the whole state park. The national park, shit ton of pavement. There's even more dirt out there. And really, to see the whole thing, you really got to get on foot. Me and my kids and my wife have hiked around that fucking place, and it's incredible, dude. The Big Bend to Texas. They're going to fucking...
Either you talked about it last time you were on, but the tour thing that you were doing, because that's kind of what Stray does as well, right? But like, taking people on these tours through the different parts of the country and things.
Stray's got something going on. Yeah. This is not like that.
Explain yours, please.
I'm just trying to curate a group of like 50 to 100 people over the next 10 years, that I've ridden with. There's a lot of people I know that would love to go on some bigger adventures, but don't have, the friends to do it, or, they're working. They don't fucking have the time to plan it out. And, I'm just trying to set it up where we can take advantage of numbers with like-minded people that you don't even have to. You just know that I've met them. I've given them the fucking clearance. They've at least spent a weekend with me. And it's also to like the way I got it set up, you just sign up on the internet, give me your email. I send you a questionnaire, figure out what you do, what you want to do, what your experience level's at. And then I have everybody spend a weekend with me in Big Bend, not to see if your riding skills are up to par, because we can get there.
Yeah.
But, just really to make sure your attitude's right and that you like fucking around with me. Do you really want to spend 10 days with me in Mexico?
Yeah.
Let's start with 2 days in Texas.
Yeah.
And go from there.
Yeah.
But it's really just to take advantage of the places I've been and the resources I have and share them with a bigger group of people.
You in Mexico would 100% be like, love to do that with you because of all your experience going down there. It totally makes sense to be able to do
Mexico's
stuff like that.
fucking so good.
Yeah.
So good. Yeah.
I think it's a good idea. I mean, everything you just said makes sense. It's like for those people that want to get out there and do stuff, to have someone that kind of figured out and it's going to take you to all the good shit and kind of like, remove the uncertainty of like, well, we fucked up and we spent too much time in Marfa and the real good time was in, Alpine or something like that. You know what I mean? So having someone that can kind of help shaman you into the great experience.
That's it. I mean, I've spent some time out there and, now I'm like, I've had people all over the country I see, they're friends of mine, and they're like, Dan, when are you going to invite me on a ride? And I'm like, fuck, I can't invite everybody. And it's not that I don't want you to go. And last year, a couple people they took offense to it. They're like, well, are we just not fucking cool enough? And I'm like, fuck, I got to figure out a way to like at least include everybody, or at least give everybody a chance to go on a ride. So this is how I'm doing it right now, is just putting together a pool of people that have at least ridden with me and that I'm willing to vouch for. So when I call up, my friend, like, he's like, well, who else is going? I'm like, don't worry about it. Like, they're all cool. We're going to have a great time. I've ridden miles with all these people. In the first 2 weekends I did, it was cool. It was a handful of friends that I know that I haven't ridden with. And then it was a handful of people that I've never met before. And everybody got along well. Not all the bikes made it. Not all the people made it. But nobody died and everybody was stoked.
Yeah.
And we dealt with all the challenges along the way. The more people you have, the more chances of something happening.
Are you doing mainly this on the Pan America?
Yeah, it's mainly, I originally started it to be just off-road stuff.
Yeah. That's what I thought I remembered. Yeah.
Turns out a lot of people would like to do this on the road as well. So, we'll see. I don't feel like there's as much I don't have as much to offer on the road as far as like support and making it worth it. But we'll see. That could change. I mean, and really what's going to happen is the people that reach out and I talk to, are ultimately going to be deciding where these trips go,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like another thing that the weekend I spent with these guys in Texas is, where do you guys want to go? Tell them about where I've been and see what people want to do. And see what they have time to do, see what they got money to do, see what, kind of chances they're willing to take. I'm sure some of the trips we'll leave Texas or California and ride into Mexico on our own bikes. And then I also have bikes in Costa Rica and in Panama and Colombia and Argentina and awesome places to go everywhere where we can fly in and rent bikes and ride for a week and come home,
Yeah.
And at least you'll know that there's some other like-minded people that you'll be traveling with, even if you're just, pulling the trigger on your own.
Yeah. That's still my ultimate goal in life, is to do that trip you did down to the bottom.
It's not getting easier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hopefully I still got another 20, 30 years left. I can, probably let's see how it goes. You know what I'm saying? Still to this day, man, that was so epic, man.
Oh, it was epic.
Yeah.
It was so fucking epic. And I've been like, I've been chasing that ever since. But also like spending that time doing that whole trip, I know the places to go now, I'm going to take my wife back to Argentina. I'm not going to ride her down to Argentina. I'm going to fucking fly my ass down there with her and ride the wine country, and then come home.
Yeah, it's so badass. I mean, what about like, I know you've done Nepal, obviously. Like, what's other parts of the world that you kind of like are looking at really getting out to? I'm
going to south of France next month.
Damn.
Going to ride around there with my buddy on a panhead.
Isn't south of France kind of like some of the Alps? Like comes into that?
Yeah. Doing a Kickstart competition at one of their events over there.
Sick.
And then, we're going to spend about 10 days. I don't know where he's going to fucking take me. He's come over. He was at Daytona this year. He comes over a lot with his girl, Emma, my buddy Jimmy, Gypsy Jimmy. And he borrowed my Pan America. They went and did like fucking Dollywood and Elvis Presley's house. And they came to Bourne. They were at Bourne Free, Texas when you were in the art show.
Yeah.
He was on that orange Pan Am of mine. Anyways, I'm going to go over there and ride south of France. Other than that, I mean, I want to ride Africa, Australia. I mean, I want to ride Morocco. I want to ride Namibia.
Morocco,
ride around Kenya. Want to ride to the Great Pyramids. But I also want to go back to Mexico. Like now, and it's so much more feasible, and it's cheaper, and the food's fucking great, and there's still places I haven't been, but there's also a lot of places I want to show people. That last trip me and Brian did down to Oaxaca was so fucking epic, dude. Like the state of Oaxaca it's next fucking level. I mean, you got everything from the city of Oaxaca down into the mezcal farms, up into the coffee country, and then you got the mushroom capital of the world, and then this fucking windy roads takes you down to the fucking ocean, and they got fucking nude beaches and regular beaches and local beaches, and it's fucking incredible.
And that's on the mainland, right? It's not on the peninsula. Yeah, that's like I said, I was hoping to get my cherry popped finally with Mexico here in a couple weeks, but
dude, it's right there. You don't have to go to California.
I don't fucking like. I've always said this, and I always tell people this. I was like,
there's no bears in Mexico, dude. You don't have to be scared of bears.
You're just the kind of guy that just like slips into everything, like you're not even thinking about consequences. It feels like.
Well, why?
Well, exactly. It's the why. Like I'm an overthinking. Okay, well, I'm almost like planning this shit to happen.
So the consequences are part of those actions to begin with.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, you want to go to Mexico? Fucking go to Mexico, dude.
Yeah, I like I said, overthink it. I watched analysis paralysis. I look too much into things and focus
you should
too
start
heavily.
You should start with the donkey crossing.
Yeah, exactly.
Pay the guy on the little rowboat to take you across the ankle deep water.
Exactly, dude.
Rent a donkey, ride into town, get you a tequila, a taco, and come back. And then after that, I think you'll be like, all right,
ready to go?
I can do this now.
Would are you mainly doing those trips over there on the Pan America, or do you still do the chopper down there sometimes?
Dude, there's an event in September. I really was hoping I was going to be able to ride my chopper too, but I don't think it's going to happen. In Aguas Calientes. Those guys, they know how to party there. No, I'm not done going down on my chopper, but having the Pan America just really opens up a lot of doors. I was really hoping to ride the M8 chopper down there in September. But September is fucking...
It's busy, dude.
Yeah, I'm going to be all over.
So you got Party at the Pin at the beginning of the month. Then you got Congregation, right? Isn't Congregation going on in September?
I don't know.
I believe it's like...
I'm not doing either one of those. Those are both great events, though, that I've done,
100%.
both of, and they're incredible. I'll be at Chopper Fest in Kansas City.
I want to do that one pretty
and
bad.
then I got a new event that's going to be the weekend after that I can't talk about yet, up on the Great Lakes. That will be really fucking killer.
I did a podcast with this dude, James Folder, out of Kansas City. He's kind of a part of like this, which I think is so sick. Because
Is he the photographer guy? OKC 183 or some shit?
So I did a podcast with him, and because I saw his photos he took at Born Free, Texas.
Yeah, they were great.
Sick photos, right? And then I was coming back from picking up that build that's downstairs I was just talking about. And I said, they have that like where they all kind of go in on a shop together and everybody has a corner kind of spot. And it's such a brilliant idea that I wish was more common these days with people like, hey, let's get our group.
It is very common, but here in Texas, we all have shops.
Yeah.
There's just more space. We're not fucking in a small city, or in a big city with small spaces.
Well, I would love to be in downtown Dallas if I can get a few homies to come together and we can have like a spot.
You could do
there.
that if you went there.
It'd be fun.
You build it, they will come, Jace. Come on.
Yeah.
We learned this a long time ago. Field of dreams, baby.
Exactly. But that place is just so photogenic.
So did you go there?
Kansas City?
No, that shop.
Yeah. We did the podcast in that shop.
Nice.
And I've always liked the West Bottoms down there. It's just such a photogenic spot. But, I haven't been to it, but like seeing the photos of the caves and everything that David Mann used to paint, and you could still go to them today and everything, is pretty sick. So that I was planning on going to that last year, but we were so like behind schedule on the chopper build that I was trying to get that done for Born Free. You know what I mean? So pretty much the last 2 years of my life, builds have been keeping me off the road.
Dude, this one right now is it's gone on a little longer than I'd like for it to.
What's the premise on it?
What's the premise? I'm building a fucking M8 chopper. Morse Magneto S&S carburetor, 1621 with some Invader wheels from Lead Sled Customs and some ape hangers. It's a paint by Chemical Candy, dude. Mm-hmm. I mean, the only flames that I run. And it's close. It's fucking, it's like to that point where it's really close. You're just missing some pieces that are keeping me from going a little further.
Yeah. What was the initial inspiration to want to go that direction?
Well, I opened my fat mouth and was like, the M8 would be a great motor to build a chopper out of. And my buddy BJ at Good Times Motorcycle Supply in Hayes, Kansas was like, I got the bike for you to do that with. I'm like, fuck, all right, well, let's do it. So, ever since I did the podcast with that fucking Hopper guy, dude, he did 100,000 miles on that motor. I'm like, I used to think I wanted to build an Evo chopper. That was going to be the next thing I built, was like a longer lasting chopper motor. Evo. No, fuck, the M8's where it's at. So, and that Softail platform is great. The suspension works fucking good. Riding that Pan Am around, I'm like, damn, having a push button and some suspension is fucking great. Mm-hmm. The places I've been able to take my chopper, God knows where I could take this M8.
Yeah.
So I'm, leaving the suspension. I went down to Daryl Borba's shop, Bad Choppers outside Magnolia, and we put in a round backbone, got rid of the square backbone that's in there. Yeah. We moved the neck around just a little bit, but it'll be a pretty stock stance. Mm-hmm. Gonna Frisco mount a Sportster tank. I'm pretty much building my chopper with suspension and modern components.
Yeah. Can't beat it. I mean, the Morse Magneto thing, so that's like eliminating a lot.
Dude, I got it to run last week.
For real.
Fuck, I was just so relieved. That's like magic to me. I don't know how the fuck all that works, Yeah. I know how to time a motor. Or at least I know how to time my shovel head. Mm-hmm. And on this M8, there's no timing marks on the flywheel. There's nothing to time. Yeah. It's like all fucking magnet. Well, I don't even know how the fuck the computer does it. But I pulled all the boxes, all the wires off. They're just sitting on the ground, so they're not any help. And when you get that Magneto, he sends you, it's the whole nose cone cover that just bolts right on. It's pretty fucking user friendly. But before that, you bolt a worm drive gear onto the end of the cam. Mm. But there's nothing to orientate it,
Oh, so it can kind of go on a different.
It's just on however you zip it on. And then once you finally get the mag on there, you time it off the cylinders. Well, I've always timed it off the front cylinder when I do my shovel head. In the instructions that I finally ended up following after taking everything apart fucking multiple times, it's like, we've had better luck with timing it off the rear cylinder. And sure enough, it fucking popped right off.
Yeah.
Which was awesome because I was starting to think that, it just wasn't going to fucking work, Uh-huh. So that felt really good. And then I figured out Nick was over there the next day and he was like, "Are you going to run a foot clutch on it?" And I'm like, really, I haven't really, I'd love to, but I think there's too much involved and there's nothing really to fucking build off of. And then sure enough, we figured it out minutes later. So now it's going to have a foot clutch on there.
That's pretty sick.
Yeah, pretty simple little setup. Just kind of rerouted the clutch cable using the original shifter that goes through the primary. That's going to be the clutch lever. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, I think after last year, Born Free, seeing Power Plant and Hawk's Bike, like it just kind of it did kind of get the bearings rolling, and kind of like I'm sure that you dealt with. You can get those older lowrider, M8s or street bobs.
You can buy a brand new one for fucking less than $20,000.
Yeah, but
a brand new one.
Yeah,
But
you can get them for like $7-8 grand, $6 grand in some areas now.
You can get it for real cheap. Yeah,
and just chop those up because I wouldn't mind doing my gold FXR chopper in that kind of way, if you will. You know what I'm saying? So that's something. But my next one's the Evo chop. That's where I'm at right now. I got 2 Evo motors. I got a set of wheels right under here for it, and I want to build an 80s style,
like tough guy chopper.
Yeah,
like delivering cocaine with all the
maybe not delivering,
gadgets.
maybe doing it.
Yeah,
I'm just playing. Like those wheels were the original wheels I'd ordered for the shovelhead, but they never showed up until after the bike was done, and I wanted them to kind of mimic old IROC Z wheels for the old Camaros. And so I did a podcast with Oliver from Cut Rate, and we kind of was talking about like styles, and I was like, I just don't know what style I wanted to have these kind of looks and these kind of like callbacks to like a late 60s, early 70s chopper, but what would it look like if you built that in the 80s? You know what I'm saying? Like how would that kind of translate? So still 4-speed, still, all the other
80s are fucking weird, dude. I mean, 84 was a good year. But
it's weird.
Some weird
a lot
styles
of plastic.
there. Weird fucking music. A lot of plastic.
Cry, little sister.
Don't even know what that is.
Lost Boys, baby. The OG motorcycle movie, riding dirt bikes.
The greatest fucking vampire movie ever.
Yeah, the real one. None of that gay ass fucking Twilight stuff.
Oh yeah,
it's good times. But yeah, I'm pretty hooked on it, man. And what the other thing is that you have the riding side of a chopper, but you have the building side too. And whether you're building a frame or you're modifying a frame, like there's no box that you have to sit in. Like everything you do, I mean, you can kind of put yourself in a box. Like I want it to be a period correct bike or like this or like that. But like if you had a bagger, like a modern bagger, and you want to build a bike, it's like you either go on a performance bagger route or maybe a big wheel or fat tire route. Like there's like boxes you choose. You really can't go out of that has like a good aesthetic.
Got a Vicletta.
Yeah, you have Vicla stuff and stuff like, you know what I mean? But it feels very freeing to just be creative. Not that you're inventing anything. It's just like you can go so many directions, like the type of tank you go with.
Yeah. And there's a lot of options.
So many, and like on a bagger or,
I don't think there is though. There's only one option. It's just a Frisco sporty tank.
I mean, it's the only option if you want it to like be the most usable, I'm getting like 95, 100
What's
miles
on
out
your
of my tank.
What's on your tank, on your bike?
We did a sporty tank. It's a 2.1 gallon. Then we moved the filler up a little bit higher, moved the petcock to the best position, Frisco mounted it. So, like I said, I'm getting about 95 to 100 out of the tank.
Yeah.
Which, not that I'm on it that long, but that's the other thing about riding those things is like it doesn't hurt. It really doesn't. Like everybody made me feel so like, oh man, the road's gonna kill you. It's like, man, yeah. Every once in a while you'll get that one that you forgot your mouth was open and you just fucking chatter your teeth, right? But for the most part, you're cruising at a different pace. You're able to catch and scan a lot of things and kind of maneuver around it. And it's just not as uncomfortable as I think people were so adamantly saying
it's
it
so
was.
uncomfortable, dude.
It's not.
So uncomfortable.
Compared to what, a car? Fucking, it's not that bad, dude.
Oh, I love my chopper. What kind of seat are you running?
We made it. I made a pan. Then I have a guy up in Fayetteville, James Carter. He's been doing my seats for years. So he did the FXR chopper, and he used to do all my bagger stuff back in the day. And
he makes a comfy seat.
I think so. It's a harder foam, so you have more cushion. Like you're not like sinking all the way to the bottom of it. Like when you buy a brand new bike, it's like comfy when you sit on it, but if you ride on it, you start to kind of move all the foam out of the way, and next thing you know, you're kind of sitting on.
I don't know about that.
I do.
My LaPera seat is the shit.
Well, that's a LaPera seat, not a stock seat.
Yeah.
LaPera seats are pretty nice, man.
Yeah, mine's fucking great. I think I'm on my third one.
Yeah.
On that bike.
On the chop?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of them I just wore out. The other one I fucking wrecked, slid it down the road and blew it out. And then, I'm on my third one.
Sick. Making stuff fit perfectly to the bike. That's kind of where I'm from, So
my shit fits perfectly to the bike. Perfectly to my ass too.
Sure.
It does.
I see those gaps. Now that I know what I'm looking at, I can pick up part of chopper, dude.
What are you looking at?
I'm just saying, now that I know what those, that's what I was telling someone else, is like, I used to go to swap meets before doing this chopper, and I'm like, I don't know what the fuck any of this shit is. You know what I'm saying? And then now it's like I can go, I'm like, oh yeah, that's a bearing support plate, or that's this. Like, you kind of know the parts, and you can see the, like, maybe not the value, but like, I'm looking for this. I'm looking for a coil bracket or this or that. You know what I mean? As opposed to before, I just go to swap meets. Like, I don't know why people are saying this is so sick, because I don't know what any of this shit is. You know,
you never needed none of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So now I do.
Well, that LaPera seat, fucking built for a rigid frame, fits fucking perfect.
They look good. I do. I will give them that.
They feel good too.
Yeah.
I get reminded when I ride other ones. Now that stock fucking bagger seat was pretty fucking good.
Yeah.
But I wasn't on it very long.
Yeah.
And I could have sat on fucking almost anything riding down the PCH, dude. Weather was fucking perfect, dude. Radio blaring Leonard Skinner the whole time. You gonna put speakers on your chopper? You know, like the ones that mount to the handlebars or anything like that?
No, dude. Come on.
No?
No.
Just giving up on the tunes altogether?
I never really listened to them.
Really?
Yeah, even the baggers.
With the baggers, you never took advantage of the radio up front.
No, because I come from the era of baggers where we did the radio to the fullest, and it's just obnoxious. And so I think I'm one of the rare dudes that just really enjoys the silence of being on a bike. Like, I don't listen to anything. Every once, like, I have those Meta glasses now that have like the cameras and shit on it.
Yeah.
And man, you put those on in like a custom destruction helmet or something, perfect sound. Like, you can listen to music going down the road with the wind in your face. It's perfect. But those things only last like maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, you know what I'm saying, before it dies. I don't care for the music on the bikes. Like, it's just not my thing. You know what I mean? And
I've never done it until that bagger, and I fucking loved it.
I mean,
Until that shovelhead rode up next to me, and I'm like, Tay, get the fuck out of here. Just whack the throttle to get away from him so I could hear the music again.
I've had the music for so long, and it doesn't do anything for me anymore.
Yeah,
you know?
I tried to do the earbuds, but it never works. My ears are all fucked. I love listening to some music, though, especially when I'm jamming through the woods.
Mm. Well, see, that's the other problem now, is that on the shovelhead, like, I need to hear the bike.
Do you?
I do. I'm not. I'm still asking questions. You know what I mean?
No, people say that, and if you're on a good long journey, it is nice to be able to stay in tune with it.
Yeah.
But then I also feel like, dude, sometimes it makes more noises when I ride without my helmet. I'm like, oh, it's fixing to blow up. Now I'm just like, cinch the helmet down tighter. It's making noises. Just ignore it a little longer. Because then sometimes you'll be chasing your fucking tail over something that's nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I feel it more than anything, like vibrations.
Because everything's rigid mounted, you do feel like something's loose. Like, I can feel that.
The
somewhere.
fucking motor mounts get loose, fucking frame cracks. You notice that shit.
Yeah. So like I said, it's just tapping into so much. So it's been a great experience. But I think not being able to start it for so long, like learning that part, like learning how to kick it, because everybody tells you how they start their bike, and so you start trying to do their method. And once I just went back to basics and said, all right, like, what's the Harley procedure to start a bike?
What is the Harley procedure?
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, I went back and just said, okay, I would imagine it's just like give it some gas, a couple prime kicks. But everybody was like, do three pumps, kick it, then do this, and it would be flooded out basically by the time I did that. Because
you got Super E on there?
Yeah. And so the Super E and my jets in there were so it's been a combination of learning the Super E carb and how that interacts with the motor. Because remember, I think I talked to you. We were on the phone once. I was like, man, everybody's saying go to points. If I go to points, what's your opinion? He's like, yeah, do it. I've done it forever. So Haney put points in it when I stayed at his house one night.
Good job, Haney.
We had a hard time getting it started. But when I had it, when it cut out on me going down to Fandango, I had to go get the van, bring it back.
Yeah, what happened? You couldn't make it from here to Fredericksburg? Damn it, dude.
So
Inner city bike.
Dude,
Yeah,
and you were trying to leave to Mexico. No wonder you'd rather work on bikes in your shop.
Yeah,
couldn't
yeah,
even make it to
100%.
Fredericksburg. Dude.
so we were in Wimberley, Texas, right? We were headed to
Beautiful.
Devil's Backbone.
Beautiful.
And yeah, just like I came around a corner and it just like I was giving the gas, it was just falling on its face, like wouldn't work. So I ended up pulling over. Unfortunately, I was like 3 miles from Jacob Kennard's house. So I'd text him. He's like, sounds like your condenser is going out. I'm like, okay, well, I've never had this bike before, or this setup. So this is all like learning stuff for me. And I've never felt what it did, which was like it would run, but if you gave it gas, it was just like falling on its face.
under
Almost, yeah. So we get it to Jacob Kennard's. He has like one of those fancy
6-in-1s from Morris Magneto.
Yeah. So we put that on, and then like out of nowhere, it starts working. Right? It didn't
It's
work
not
right
a-
away.
Oh,
Right
really?
away. So we put it on, and it was doing the same shit. And he's like playing with little switches on there.
Oh, yeah.
Got it to work, and I'm like, oh fuck, sick. All right. Hey, thank you, Jacob. You know, jump on the bike, mile down the road, same shit. Had to have him come pick me up again. So I'm like, man, maybe it's a coil. You know, because I'm thinking everything, the whole charging system is brand new. I went with a 22 amp charging system, but it was like a V-twin instead of like Psychoelectric. Psychoelectric didn't have any 22 amp charging systems anywhere. Hog Supply did, so I bought one from Hog Supply, and you know, turns out coil wasn't the issue. I ohmed it out, and I bought another one just so that if I didn't do that right, same shit. We ended up ordering a Psychoelectric. Just going back to a 32 amp charging system, put it in there, bam, back to normal.
Why did you want a 22 amp?
Recommendations, because you don't need that much power.
Somebody didn't recommend Psychoelectric or nothing?
Well, they did recommend that, but I couldn't find the 22 amp in Psychoelectric.
Yeah.
And so, so that ended up being the issue. But the thing that
So the battery was dying on you?
no, it wasn't. I guess maybe. I mean, the charging system.
Because
wasn't
you don't
good,
need a
so-
charging system for the bike to run. But you need a battery that's charged up. And to keep the battery charged up, you need a charging system.
That's kind of where it was weird, because when you kick it over, it would kind of find its groove again and start running right. And then you give it a little gas and it go back to idling like shit. So I had a hard
Like
time.
maybe it was shorting out in the what do you call that fucking?
Yeah, like maybe it was touching the deal. Possible. I mean, I clearanced it.
Did you do? No, I'm talking about the charging system.
Yeah,
Like inside of there could have been a wire loose that was grounding out as it was spinning around.
it could have. You know, I
Did
kinda
you change
chalked
the
it up.
whole charging system with Psychoelectric?
Yeah, I went the whole
Yeah,
thing.
no problem now, right?
So far, I haven't gone anywhere yet. So maybe I tried instead of
Batteries and switches, dude. Those are the first things to check.
yeah.
Batteries are fucking junk, dude, especially on a rigid mounted shovel head. They vibrate, especially you say you vibrate a lot. The batteries are going to go out. You got to have it like well supported, you know, like rubber stops, but then it also needs like airspace to cool off. If there's not a lot of like room for air to rotate around that battery, it's going to get fucking hot, swell up, and
Okay, that's good to know.
yeah.
Yeah, because I have like a mount that holds
And
it.
just take an extra battery.
Fuck.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
Velarde
space.
would be upset if I didn't tell you that.
There's AutoZones in O'Reilly's everywhere. So
You're right.
I'm pretty much, you know.
I mean, if you're not riding by yourself,
Yeah. Well, I think that, again, this is where maybe a new, it's a fun challenge, but also it's challenging for me is that I have to take camera gear and podcast gear when I go somewhere.
yeah, so you got
Podcast
extra
gear.
batteries. You could probably rig up one of those fucking
Fucking
camera batteries to
Yeah,
run
yeah.
that fucking bike forever, dude.
Yeah, probably.
Charge it up every night, just plug it into the wall, put some flap, just like tape some fucking connectors on there. It doesn't need a lot of power.
You got all your drills and stuff down here.
Yeah,
Use
just
some
take a bunch of
batteries.
those. But yeah, it gets a little bit difficult when you're trying to like pack out camera
So
gear.
it was the charging system and the battery that kept you from making it.
To this point, I don't know if it was either one because I swapped both out. So I'm just gonna have to ride it.
Did you
around
not
some
ride it back from Fredericksburg?
No, I
Or
had
you just
to-
came home after that?
My wife was headed down to Austin for a girls' trip weekend, so she
You
wasn't gonna,
fucked up her whole girls trip, didn't
No,
you?
she just left me the car, and then I drove home, and then because she didn't need the car once she got there, so she came pick me up. I dropped her off, went back home, and then came back down in the van, picked up the bike, her shit like that. So it worked out, you know what I mean? But it's the first time I've ever like been on a bike trip or whatever and had a breakdown that I couldn't fix on the road.
Really?
Yeah.
First time.
First time. Fucking almost 20 years of riding, you know.
First time you've ever hauled a bike off the road. Let's see. I've done that. Fuck, at least once this year. I just gave up.
What was
Where
it?
did I give up recently? I was like, babe, come and fucking get me. Oh, I guess it wasn't this year. It was last year. About this time.
Oh, okay.
No, that fuck. Seemed like recently I was like, oh, in Colorado. Yeah. On the way to fucking Sturgis last year.
Oh, shit. On the way?
Yeah.
Those on the ways are kind of the worst, right? Because like I feel like if it would have broke down on the way home from Fandango, it would have been way better.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, fuck it.
You
I already did what I wanted to do.
Yeah, well, the mission wasn't over. It's like I broke down. The fucking bike still hasn't ran since then.
For real?
But she picked me up. Fucking then I took my wife to Sturgis. She never would have got to go to Sturgis if I didn't break down. I never would be like, hey, I'm taking you to Sturgis this year. I mean, maybe at some point I will, but.
Yeah, it works out well. So how, I mean, you were captain plugged into the Harley ecosphere before. Like, how are you feeling about everything they're doing now with the new CEO and stuff?
I mean, what are they doing now? They fired a bunch of people. You know, I don't see anything that's like changing quite yet. You know, they're not selling a shit ton of bikes.
Yeah.
And they have a shit ton of dealers. Unfortunately, I don't like that we're losing the coolest dealers, you know, the ones that have the most character, the mom and pop shops that aren't able to like make it through this fucking rough time. So the bigger conglomerates are going to make it through, which, you know, I don't know any way to help that. I would hate to be in their position making these decisions. You know, everybody belly aches about price and they need a fucking Sportster. And I just don't see it. You know, I'm like, there's plenty of fucking Sportsters out there, you know, like does the motor company need to make a brand new fucking beginner bike for you to get into riding motorcycles when they could quit making motorcycles tomorrow and we would still have plenty of fucking Harleys to ride for a long time. You know, I love the Pan America. I hope that they like do some different things with that platform. You know, I was hoping they were going to throw some fucking bags on it and really do up that ST, you know, more like the lowrider ST, which I don't, you know, they may do that in the future. I don't really know. But I could see that being a hit. I mean, the whole performance bagger, performance bike, the performance Harley shit, you know, it's opened up people's eyes to like be more accepting to the Pan America, I think, where they're like, no, we really want it to work good. And it's like, okay, well, look here, this one works really good. It works better than the M8. But it's totally different. You know, it's not air cooled. There's not even any fucking cooling fins on it. You know, I love that. Are they going to be able to keep doing it? I mean, I think they should fucking go drastic and just fucking, you know, put a 450 out and get some fucking badass like Hayden Deegan racing it on Saturday night at the Supercross track.
Yeah.
I don't think it's out of line to think that they could go that far in a different direction. And sure, people would be bummed out. Oh, I don't want to fucking ride my bagger because they're making dirt bikes now, but fuck those faggots. You know, I think that their biggest handicap, their biggest problem is they're fucking the stereotypical Harley consumer that's like, bring production home and make the bikes cheaper. You know, like that's not going to get us anywhere.
Yeah.
They're in a tough spot, but you know, it's not unique to Harley right now either.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, and I've talked about this many times, like how are they still making a brand new motorcycle for less than 20 grand, you know, while trucks have gone up fucking 300% in the last 20 years, you know? And everybody, when they talk about prices, they want to say, oh, the fucking bag, there's $40,000, $50,000. Like, well, yeah, that's for a fucking tricked out bagger from the motor company. This shouldn't be fucking cheap, you know? And if you can't afford it, then buy another one, you know? Like you shouldn't be able to afford it. Like there should be, you know, not everybody deserves one.
Yeah.
And there's plenty of fucking used ones on the market. Now, I don't know how the motor company makes money off the dealers or the other networks selling used bikes, but, you know, I think there's, who knows? I don't know. What do you think?
It feels like I've heard the dirt bike conversation brought up quite a bit, and I think that's probably one of the smartest things they could do. because as far as like getting younger riders to start prepping them for when they get older with the brand, you know what I mean? Kind of.
Well, I mean, I think they're essentially doing that with the MotoGP. You know, like that is not only is it bringing in a whole new crowd and whole new audience to MotoGP racing.
Yeah.
It's putting Harley in front of a shit ton of kids whose dads probably wouldn't be like, hey, look at the Harleys. They're cool. You know, if those dads are watching MotoGP and its authentic form, you know, those kids are probably they're now gonna get introduced to Harley, and with the numbers being so close and them being loud and grabbing the attention of people at those races, like it will, you know. I mean, that's so much more entertaining to see that go by you, I imagine, than those sport bikes.
Yeah, 100%.
I think that's a good long term, you know, like that's good, like long term, but.
It does feel it would be very smart for them to lean more into the just the off-road stuff with the Pan America to try to just continue to build up that kind of side of the brand. You know, I'm not very versed in it, but just like very ignorant perspective outside looking in, you know, you have BMW and KTM that's just got this vast network that they've built through all this.
Yeah, KTM went out of business.
They did?
Yeah, and got bought out by another company.
Oh, shit.
You know, BMW... that's a hard model to follow. I mean, they're like, you know, they're doing big things. They fucking got cars and motorcycles. They're like developing production methods and selling them to all the other OEMs.
Yeah.
They're not making money off just their motorcycle sales, you know? Yeah, they just got a hard line to toe right now. And I think that being more open to them doing things, not being as like, I mean, every time Harley puts out anything new, people are like, that's not cool. You know, like really every time it seems like they come out with something new, most people are like, that's not cool. Fuck Harley.
Yeah, they have to prove themselves over and over.
Yeah.
Well, they just have such a wide audience of like consumers.
Well, the brand means so much to everybody individually, and they have their own idea of what it means to them and what they think that brand represents and what they want to see that brand do. And when it doesn't nail it to a T, then they're like, you know, the company died in 1984.
Yeah.
You know, I could stand behind that argument as well. I mean, honestly, I think if the motor company went out of business tomorrow, we'd be doing just fine. You know, there's plenty of fucking Harleys. We're not going to stop riding them.
Yeah, I mean,
not that I want to see that happen.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, there are a shit ton of motorcycles out there. That's what makes it so tough for them right now to come up with new stuff, keep people excited when, you know, the aftermarket's just, you know, taking advantage of the shit that is already cool, you know, that has already been proven. They have to come out with new product.
I do feel like if Harley would have done what Buell's doing right now with the Super Cruiser, then they would have gotten a lot of flack for it or hate or whatever the case may be.
What are they doing? They're making a Harley-like motorcycle without Harley parts.
Yeah.
Like, talk about that company without talking about Harley.
Yeah.
You know, you can't really.
So I get that it's like a very complicated place to be. You know what I mean? And I mean,
but what is that Buell company doing that's so unique compared to what Harley's doing?
I think that they're putting Pan America technology in a more traditional looking overall stance, aesthetic, I guess you'd say. And
just like Harley's doing with the VVT technology on the M8s and the ride modes and the adaptive suspension. I mean, that's what Harley's doing.
I agree. I think that it's there, you know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are they doing that's so different and revolutionary than what the lowrider is or the ST?
And everybody that I've talked to that's ridden the Super Cruiser says it just feels like a Pan America. I mean, it's relatively. I mean, yeah, I think the Super Cruiser's got more horsepower, but it's a water-cooled motor. It makes a ton of horsepower, not a ton of torque. You know what I mean? So the feeling that I think.
The Pan America is a water-cooled motor.
Yeah, and it makes a ton of horsepower.
Rip fucking dirt. You know, the Pan America will outride any Harley in the lineup.
Yeah.
And it'll fucking do some gnarly off-road shit.
So that's why when they had posted that the one from Mama Tried, the cafe thing, like that, I think there might be an audience for that, you know, for sure. But who's to say? Like I said, I feel like Harley just cannot get a break from its audience. Like you said, they're so, you know, it means so much to so many people that no matter what they do, it always feels like it's unaligned with their.
I mean, I think everything they've been doing is fucking great over the last fucking.
Same.
I mean, the coolest bikes I've seen since I've ever paid attention to them. You know, I never thought I'd want a new bike. You know, once I got a new bike, my first Harley, I immediately went back in time, you know, and got my shovelhead. Been riding that ever since. And then they put out the Pan America, those fucking throwback models with the cool retro paint jobs. Those are sick. The fucking ST. I mean, I feel like they classically did the FXR justice, you know, with the modern chassis and just making it different, but also like, you know, tipping their hat to it.
Yeah.
The fucking baggers, I mean, they're fucking great.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, dude. I rode that bagger this year and I did not hesitate at all to jump on that thing and ride down the fucking coast. It does its job well. I've ridden, Paul's got that fucking limited road glide, dude. It fucking rips, dude. And that motherfucker carries suitcases and shit behind him. You know, you don't even notice any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it does the job well.
Yeah. So with the new CEO, I think the goal is for him to, or I think his goals are pretty much to make the brand more recreational. I think is maybe in a term of what they were saying.
Where did you get this information?
Insider.
From an insider. Make it more recreational than it already. That's all it is a recreational vehicle.
Well, I think it's I think that the brand is obviously recreational, but like
I think they could go the complete opposite way and be like, dude, you can buy this for less than a brand new fucking truck and you can ride it to work every day. The traffic's fucked. You can go around the traffic.
Well, that's why I say this every time I talk to a lot of dealers is like, you know, if you guys would like help lobby, or I don't even know how this works. I'm just kind of like talking shit in the air.
Talking about lobbyists, dude, you're getting political on us?
Well, yeah, if you can find a way to
next,
get,
or what?
if you can find a way to get more states in board with lane splitting or at least filtering, that would open up commuter travel so much in motorcycling. I mean, in Texas alone, if we could filter those, you know, whether it's on the highway.
That's a great point.
More people will ride their bikes to work. It'll be more of a commuter bike. Therefore, would build the entire economy up in those areas because more shops like David Brown's, you know, Brown Cycle is going to have more maintenance coming in. I bought this bike so I can save on gas and time and whatnot. But now I was like, I kind of like riding. I want to go riding in the country now. So it opens up to more recreational side of or of riding motorcycles in general. I mean, it's not a coincidence. I mean, you got a place like California where you can pretty much ride all year long on almost every part of it, right? Well, now you can lane split. So you have an incentive to travel to work on that thing. If that was like that, I think in Phoenix or Vegas, one of those like filtering's legal now. I think in
Arizona
both.
it is.
Yeah. So it's like, that's a huge motorcycle state. Now more people are probably going to be riding those bikes to, you know, to work.
I think you should do this. You should fucking take up that torch, Jace.
No.
Put together a big lobby group. Start going down to Austin.
Honestly, you seem more like the guy that would get their attention if they were there.
I mean, yeah, I
What
probably
is this
could.
dude gonna say?
But I like it that it's illegal, you know? I don't want it. Obviously, you know.
You're the dude that don't want weed legal, so you can still buy it from a drug dealer, huh?
Well, so drug dealers could still make money, dude. Drug dealers used to spend money too, you know? Now they're like, fucking Oliver was talking about that on the podcast with Randy Adams, which is a really good podcast if you guys haven't heard that. Like how drug dealers used to come in and just throw money at the tattoo artist. Like, no, they ain't doing that no more. Ain't nobody making money off weed, dude. They're just fucking regular farmers now, dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Even though it's like illegal in Texas, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody smokes weed. It's everywhere. But
Yeah.
no, it's like I like skateboarding more when it was like illegal, you know, and there wasn't skate parks to go skate in, you know? It was like, it's just more exciting when you got maybe 4 tries at this staircase before the fucking security guard comes out and calls the cops.
Yep.
But I think it's, you know, that would do a lot for incentivizing people to ride motorcycles more.
Yeah. I agree 100%. That's why I feel like it's something that if more dealerships saw that aspect, then maybe they could find a way to, you know, they have more market share to be able to pull and get things happening or whatever the case may be. I don't fucking know.
I'm sure they just
custom
know
painter.
people. Like, you know, my dad's business, they got like the North Texas Automobile Dealers Association where they pull their money together. And that's exactly what they do is they pay lobbyists to like, you know, hopefully make the laws work in a way that's beneficial to them selling trucks.
Exactly.
I would imagine that there's something like that in the motorcycle industry. I mean, you wouldn't have to stop with just Harley dealers. You could bring in all
because it
the
would be
motorcycle
all
dealers.
It would be a rising tide that floated.
And it
on.
seems like there's a fucking group that does this already.
Yeah.
What is it? A-Bait?
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they're probably more like trying to get helmet laws taken away and stuff like that.
Well, that's where they started, but I'm sure that they're also, trying to get filtering. What do you call it? Lane filtering?
Filtering is when you basically, when traffic's had to stop, you move to the front, right? Or at a very slow pace, you move to the front. Splitting is just like, if it's anything under the speed limit, you're technically allowed to go through it. You know what I mean? Or I don't know fucking exactly what it is, but California's splitting. Like you can just travel through the middle lanes no matter what.
Oh, dude, they got that giant fucking lane right there in between the HOV lane and the regular traffic. Lane splitting in California is easy.
It is.
Fucking lane split through Fort Worth in rush hour, dude, with all these fucking giant trucks and trailers and shit.
Well, that's kind of
horses sticking their head out. Fucking cow haulers just pissing down the fucking highway, just rolling out of the fucking side of that thing.
Yeah, it's real biker shit. Taking a little bit of that to the face. Well, that's kind of the other. That's one of the arguments that we said at the beginning of this podcast. Like a lot of people, it would take time for the public to understand that things are legal for it to be able to happen, right? So that's kind of. It's not like you make a law and then all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh yeah, come on down."
I mean, Texas hadn't even legalized weed. Fucking lane splitting is not coming anytime soon.
100%. Yeah, I know. Anything that makes you really feel free in the state that's supposed to be the freest. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Got our guns though, dude.
Carry that wherever I want, but I can't just go right down this lane.
Yeah, but you can.
I know I do, but the problem is, it's like
the laws are not for everybody. Those are for the people that need laws. Okay.
I'm just glad I'm at a point
it's
in life.
There's no laws that I follow because it's a law.
Yeah.
Like the things that I don't do, it's not because there's a law in the books. But some people need that.
Fair enough. I'm just saying I still do it, and I would happily explain my position if I got pulled over.
Oh, I have, dude. Yeah. I've fucking been pulled over for it. Not even pulled over. They just catch up to me in an unmarked car. They let me know that they're a cop and that I'm doing something illegal. I'm like, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Carry on now.
So the chopper, you almost done with it? You were saying you were trying to have it done for county seat, right?
Yeah, I was hoping county seat or Tennessee. So, but we'll see. We'll see.
Tennessee's probably more realistic, huh?
Dude, yeah, it is definitely a possibility.
Yeah.
I would really like to have it done for that. So when I get back from France, I can jump on it and jam straight to Party at the Pin.
It's got, you have the tins already or what?
Yep. I think he should be bringing them up.
Nice.
This week.
Is he still down there with Daryl and all them?
He is.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Old Chemical Randy. You see him up here a lot, but he does live down there.
Yeah, he's been hanging out with our locals, as they say.
No, he was a local for a long time.
A long time.
So he had his fucking. What do you have? He had a. What do you call it when you like? You get old and you like not a near-death experience.
Midlife?
A midlife crisis, yeah, where he went and got a real job that had insurance. Where most people have midlife crisis, they fucking quit their real job and start living in a van. Like Randy, he did the opposite.
Well, I mean, I've been on that kick too, like where I really want to move into like a career within the motorcycle industry.
Really? You're going to go corporate on us?
I'd like to.
Nice, dude. Like wear a badge and stuff?
A badge?
A name tag?
Calm down.
Dude, have keys on your hip, dude. Key ring, dude.
Yeah. No, I
big responsibilities.
I've been self-employed my entire adult life, man. Like I'm managing, but it's like I don't know. There's just a part of like the structure of it that I would like. Everything that I do for a living would be a sick side hustle. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
A bike here and there, paint a helmet, do the podcast.
Work 8 to 5 for the man.
Yeah. Just fucking clock in and grind, dude. Get home.
You need to talk
have
to
some
Scott.
lemonade.
Dude. You need to talk.
Mow
to
my
Randy,
grass,
dude. You need to talk to Randy.
No. Well, I wouldn't go. It would only be in the motorcycle industry. I'm not going to go get a job in the construction industry. You know what I'm saying? Or something.
So you're not doing this to make money.
What do you mean?
This full-time gig.
I'm just trying to find. There's not a lot of gigs that pay worth shit in this motorcycle industry. And what sucks is like everything I'm good at, like I'm not classically trained, so like I couldn't really.
You don't have paper on the wall?
Yeah, like I could
approval?
kill it in marketing for certain brands, right? Depending on the type of product and things like that.
Well, it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah. Well, that's how I know that, right? But the brands that I think that I could work and do a lot of help with, they're not necessarily a mom and pop shop where they would just hire me because I'm Jace or whatever the fuck.
But somebody will hire you within there if you know the right people.
Well, yeah.
And that's how that works. It absolutely is. Now, you know, some of those big ones, you at least need some kind of credentials so they can like run it through their fucking computer.
I think I have a diploma. I honestly, I know I graduated high school, but I don't know where my, like.
Hey, you just contact them. They'll send you a piece of paper.
Do you just, like, who ever even asked to see it? Like, I've never in my life go, hey, man, let me see that diploma real quick.
I don't fuck with those people. Period. I don't fuck with those people.
But there's a couple jobs out there.
I do have one. It's not hanging up on my wall, but I got it somewhere in my office. It's an adventure, something.
Your iron butt fucking
no, like fucking adventure rider course fucking
okay.
stamp. I'm like, oh, that would be funny to frame that.
Make it look all official. Like
it's from a legendary guy. What's his name? He's got the spot out in California. Jim Hyde.
Mm.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, so that's
kind of his stamp of approval.
I've also been on the fence of like moving out of Texas.
Really?
Yeah.
Fucking straight to Central America, dude. Like Panama or something.
Quit. They won't let me in. No, I mean, if I do, I'm open-minded to the opportunities that might come from whatever to kind of see where it takes me.
You would move if somebody would hire you.
Yeah. If the job was right and
you would leave this little slice of heaven here in Waxahachie.
Yes, 100%. This is the longest.
Where to? You trying to go to California, Milwaukee, Tennessee?
I don't know. I mean, I would prefer,
wherever opportunity presents itself.
I would prefer to be somewhere where riding is a bigger part of its of the culture. You know what I mean? Like California, Phoenix, you know, Utah, like just areas I can have more access to do more. Mm-hmm. Sometimes it feels limiting here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
you take this studio and put it in fucking Arizona or California, you'd be able to do podcast. You could just sit in your office all day long, just run them through like a fucking one of them spinning doors, dude.
Like say I could live where Todd Blueball lives, right? Pioneer Town.
You can afford that?
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you can, you should fucking go there now, dude.
100%. I could live there and go do a job wherever it may be, but like I could run in a weekend. I can record 5 episodes with people and be good for a month of, you know, content that needs to come out with this stuff.
For how long? Forever?
Not
for
ever.
Foreseeable future.
Just for long enough to kind of like have that
You
experience.
could probably go out there and just fucking take your old lady and get a sweet ass Airbnb in the desert. It'd be a lot cheaper than trying to buy a house there.
Yeah, just live in an Airbnb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fucking ride around.
I guess if I started drinking more in my interviews, they'd be better, or they would be bad again.
Depends on how much drinking. There are times where it's a little much.
Yeah, I'd get emotional. That's a,
You get emotional, huh?
well, it's just, you know, even thinking about the arc of my podcast over the last, you know, 8, almost 9 years. It's like we went through these different phases, you know, and I think right now has been the most professional version of it ever. It's fun, but when I think about the crazy shit that used to happen in this room and the mountains of beer and dudes pissing in bottles in the back corner, flying drones in here, like just crazy shit we used to do live back in the day. And now it's like super proper, you know what I mean? I feel like I need to put a time. See, I'm preparing myself for the corporate world, dude.
It sounds like
know?
it, dude.
Yeah, I don't say the bad words on here that I used to say all the time, you know? He already said it today.
What'd I say?
We don't say those words in here.
What'd I say? Did I say fuck? There's a handful of them. Fuck, man.
No, we say...
Appropriate is not.
Nah, it's all good. But I don't know, man. It's...
Yeah, my podcast, let's see, right now, I book it about like a week out. Mm-hmm. I got Tyler Valentine's coming over tonight or tomorrow night. And just on the way here, I lined up another one for next week.
Yeah. Same. You're my this week's podcast.
Yeah, perfect.
Because I've been so busy with everything else. So
nice. So did we talk about Decatur kickback?
No, we should, yeah.
The county seat kickback, crawfish boil, Kickstart competition. You know, I'm thinking about throwing a fucking curveball at this Kickstart competition because, you know, we've already done Nitty Gritty Chopper City, the Fandango. It seemed like wasn't there another one at some point? Nitty Gritty I did Ventura. Yeah, Nitty Gritty Chopper City, the Fandango, and now that's 3 in Texas with the county seat kickback. These motherfuckers have had all the opportunity in the world.
Yeah.
With fucking Haney won and Nitty Gritty. Johnny Two Shits won at the Fandango on a barn find knucklehead. This third one that's fixing to win, a knife made by Nick, is not getting it easy. You know, it might be like, there's going to be crawfish there. I'm going to come up with something just nasty, dude. Like fucking stick these fucking heads in your air cleaner, you know? Will it start off of fucking crawfish heads?
Yeah.
Something. I don't know what it is. May not let them warm up ahead of time, you know? May just fucking go from a cold start.
Yeah.
Do that where they spin on the baseball bat.
Well, that's what they did at Nitty Gritty.
Yeah. So Mike does that. How did Mike do that when you saw it?
So
We smoke in here, right?
sure.
Perfect. How did he do it?
It's his show now.
Yeah. So Mike, so what Mike did was he did, you know, there were so many bikes and most of them would start first kick. So if you didn't start first kick, you were out.
It's like the first one, kick it however you want.
Yeah. And then it was kick it, you know, like you're on the front of the bike kicking the other way. Then was like saddled kicking it.
Dirt bike style.
And then it was find a lady to kick it.
Oh, he went straight to lady?
Yeah.
Dude, that's tough, dude. That's like, I usually like to wait till we know these bikes are going to start, dude. The first one I ever did, fucking Lulu broke her fucking leg because I think Kickstart Mike's bike kicked back and fucking snapped it, dude. She didn't say nothing. She got back up on stage and played for like 3 hours.
God damn.
And then that night, she couldn't get her boot off.
And then after that was the spinning on the stick, and then it was a race. And
Spinning, how did he do the spinning on the stick part?
so spin 6 times, and then you have 3 seconds to kick your bike over.
Oh, and he did one guy at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I did the spinning, and I got this because I saw him doing that, is I would make them spin on 2 sticks, right? I think we even used a fake leg for one of them because that's all we had. But yeah, you like you're kind of racing the other person, you know, where you got to spin around fucking 10 times and then kick the bike. That way they're not just sitting there waiting until they're not dizzy anymore, taking their time to, you know,
the race aspect makes sense.
Yeah, because you could slowly spin around. There's no time limit on how many times you spin around, or, you know, there's just leaves too much up to the individual person. So adding the race aspect where there's 2 people, and I like getting down to, you know, where there's just a couple bikes left, and then doing something like that. But I don't like it when you get down to like 3 or 4 people. I don't want all 4 bikes to not start. And then because, you know, after I tell them what a piece of shit they are and their motorcycle and make them fucking leave, give them the lowbrow straps. And then I'm like, actually, will you come back? Because none of the other bikes, you know, I don't like doing that.
Yeah.
You know, So you got to like get down to that 2 or 3 people. The boot chug is always my favorite.
That's gross.
Was Kickstart Mike's the first one you'd seen? You haven't seen any of the ones I did, huh?
I was there at the one you did for Born Free last year. But
You got to be up in it.
I got pulled away to something else before, like you had just let them warm it up.
Oh yeah.
And so you hadn't started going on the line yet. And then
we are going back to Born Free, California, and you motherfuckers better be there, dude. It was only like 6 people last year, and I got a knife made by Nick for the best starting bike, dude.
And you did like the finals was at Born Free, Texas, right? Last year?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because there was a bunch there, and I I didn't get to see that. I was somewhere else. I mean, that property's so big, you can easily. Dude, I never even saw the art show this year. I think I was telling
You didn't see the art show in the
I
woods?
went back there to look once, couldn't find it, and then
dude, the art show in the woods was fucking killer. It really was. I'm gonna pat myself on the back for that one because I wasn't sure what the fuck it was gonna be, and it ended up fucking working out just right.
yeah,
Yeah, great. You know, my buddy from what is it? Fucking Happy. Oh shit, Happy Design, Happy. Fuck. Scott Holthouse. Anyways, he's like a lighting designer. You know, works for Giant Axe, like the Chili Peppers are fucking his favorite Machine Gun Kelly. Anyways, he hooked me up with some lights, and dude, these lights were like state of the art, dude. I mean, I drove to fucking Nashville, picked him up, and I could have done anything. I'm fucking playing with like, you know, you connect them all together. It's all running off my phone. There's all these different colors, and I got him on the phone. He was like, okay, first off, don't use any colors. Do not fucking none of that shit you need. All you want it to look like an old shitty Chevrolet pickup truck headlight. Just a fucking light amber glow. And the whole light it all up like that. And he was right. It fucking worked out great. Art in the trees, those big prints from Bobby, just like above everybody's heads. Sick, yeah. Had the fucking the Trippers guy from fucking Oregon with the badass fucking claymation.
Yeah, I heard about it. I read a blog on Harley's deal about that.
Really?
Yeah, because they were talking about it on that.
And then Sean had the glow in the dark paint. Mike Vandergriff with a bunch of, all the photos this year were from, Texas people, which I kind of shied away from doing in the past, or just tried to bring in shit that people from Texas hadn't seen.
Yeah.
This year I was like, fuck it. I want people to see themselves in the tree,
That's cool. Yeah, these two images behind you and me are the ones I brought to yours.
Yep.
So I think it's cool, man. Like there's any kind
I
of
wish you could have seen it, dude.
Yeah, I'm bummed out because, like I said, I did go try to find it once.
Dude, Moose made this incredible fucking metal Harley sign. When it showed up, I was just like, how the fuck are we going to get this in the trees? Dude, it weighed like 1,000 fucking pounds. And somehow, like, when we hooked it on the chains and we were like letting it go down, I was like, if this isn't level, I don't know how I'm going to change that, there's fucking links and it weighed a shit ton. We had a tractor back there and it fell and it was like as level as I was ever going to need it to be, It was cool. Yeah.
What's your plan this year? Do you have things in the works or do you?
Oh yeah. Things are definitely in the works. I got some killer artists. There's going to be a lot of painting this year. I think I've only invited one photographer so far. Eric Bach. I recently had him on the podcast. He just rode his Pan America all the way to the bottom of South America.
Oh shit.
And he's made 3 posts about the whole trip. Damn. And all of the photos are fucking incrable.
Where's he putting the photos at?
Well, he's going to save them. He's like, wants to make a book or something. Yeah. So he's like, yeah, I'm not putting that shit out there on the internet. And I was like, well, sick. You can bring it to the art show. So he's going to make some prints. I got some great painters doing the CeeLo Scramble again.
Yeah, and I saw that. Yeah.
Which is going to be so killer. So, all right. Let me see if I can do this off memory. I got Nate Plum. I got Cody Dunn, Long Brothers Choppers. I got Evolution Drew from, he's in Chicago. Him and Bobby Good Times are going to team up. I got Sweatshop Jeff and Brian Ham from.
What's Sweatshop doing these days? They're not really making bags like they used to.
Oh, yeah. He does all sorts of shit, dude. Did you see that calendar he just put out?
Yeah, with all the
fucking hookers on it, dude. It's so good, dude. He's doing another one. He's going even more raunchier for next year. That one was a little churched up for what he was after, but.
I mean, just saying, like back in the day, like you'd go to his stuff and you have like all these bag selections that was, because I have one from 2016 that I run, but like I kind of wanted to see about getting a new one.
Yeah, he's got them.
I had on his website. He has like one on there.
In California, he had him at Born Free.
I just need to go see him in person.
Dude, he's great. He's fucking great. Did I name 6? Were you counting?
No, I wasn't counting.
Come on, Jamie. Pull it together.
You got the dude from Moonpig Choppers, right? What's his name?
Moonpig, yeah.
Moonpig.
Brian Ham. So Nate, Cody, Drew, Ben Jeff, Sweatshop Jeff, Brian Ham, Moonpig Choppers. And fucking Brian Ham was the one that kind of like set it to a new level. He hit me up. He's like, man, is it okay if I ride my chopper from California? And I was like, yeah, but you're going to have to ride your new chopper back home. He's like, yeah, exactly. And as soon as I told everybody that, everybody jumped on board. So everybody's riding their chopper that they're building to Born Free, Texas for the Prince Paints and Still Art Show. They're going to roll dice and go home with the new chopper. Nice. And Jay Ryan from Gusher Cycles out of Nashville, he hooked me up with this fucking badass Springer. And as a way to like give the guys something, I'm going to let everybody play a game of CeeLo for this, for the Springer, you know, $20, you roll dice. And what I think I'll do, we came up with some ideas, but I think I came up with the idea is you pay $20, you get 3 rolls. If you roll CeeLo 4, 5, 6, then you get to come back on Saturday night and play. You know, we'll do an official game with whoever rolls CeeLo the first 2 nights before those builders play their game.
Yeah.
And they'll all roll dice and go home with a different bike. And I'm going to let the builders this year pick their favorite bike and give all the cash that we raise from the Springer to one of the builders to go home with.
Oh, that's sick.
And then, I'll also let the crowd vote on their favorite and, you know, just the whole fucking party, dude, with some sick ass shit on the walls.
So we're moving our, you know, we've hosted the pre-party since the first one, hosted here in Dallas at Strokers. But this year we're moving the pre-party to Thursday night here in. Just looking for an ashtray. Yeah, so we're hosting the pre-party at Born Free. We're gonna do it at the bar.
Oh, at Yellow Rose Canyon.
At Yellow Rose Canyon, but I'm probably gonna do. You know, because what we do is we usually get a lot of brands to donate stuff, and we just the whole night you walk in, you get a ticket. We're giving away door prizes all night long.
Nice. But
being that, like, I'd like to find a way to kind of get some more stuff going on, get more people involved, and find a way to like maybe have a photographer or 2 in there with something showing, you know, just for that night, and then you know probably get Bobby to do his. You know, his photography, you know, set up a photo booth, just make it more interactive and get more people I know involved. That way it feels like it's all their pre-party shit. Harley was backing it, but Harley's involvement in Born Free Texas this year, I think, is on the table. So we'll see what goes on there and them backing out. I don't even know what that means, but, you know, it'd be sick to say the Fast Life pre-party, Born Free Texas, presented by Harley-Davidson. I mean, that was the whole goal, and we talked about it last year, but we'll see what happens. But which is nice because I want to be at Born Free on Wednesday, you know, because every year doing the pre-party on Wednesday and then mad dashing that next morning to try to get everything to Born Free on Thursday and set up. I'd rather just get there set up Wednesday.
So you're throwing the party on Wednesday night?
No, Thursday night.
Thursday night.
Born Free.
Okay.
So to me, it just kind of like gives something to do Thursday night because Thursday night's is usually a chill night. But for some of us, it's like the night that we go the hardest because we're so ready to be there, you know? And then we taper off the rest of the event. You know, this last year we did a full espresso martini and old-fashioned bar.
Oh, I
free.
heard everybody belly aching the next day about it.
Yeah.
Oh, Jay's fed me so many martinis. And I was just, that's a funny thing to hear your friend say. It sounds like your own fault.
And we had one of my hot homeboys do it.
Really?
Shirtless. So they were getting it from a dude the whole time. Think about it, though.
That's gayer than I thought it was,
yeah,
dude.
Think about it. That's how you get the girls. That's how you get the girls, see? That's how you get the girls to come to. Yeah, we had chicks all over the place there.
That's awesome.
Like, yeah, I mean, the hot chick behind the bar, everybody's hitting on, you know, like she's used to it, right? But the girls all come because the dude's in his fucking, like, you know, Chippendales outfit giving away martinis and old fashions.
Dude, I got to tell you a funny story about that. So me and Brian Helm, we were like the last men standing. Well, at least that we could find out in Ventura.
Yeah.
After Chopper Fest. And we closed down whatever bar everybody was hanging out at. And we're walking back to our Airbnb. And we see, like, come around this corner in this alleyway and see a long line of people. And I turn back and I look at the door that they're waiting at. And there's a fucking square sign that says gay bar. And I'm like, well, there's no way that that's really a gay bar that would just say gay bar. So we just bypassed the whole line and they just let us right in. That should have been my first clue, you know?
Yeah.
You know, like those fucking nice bars where there's a big line of people and they let the hot chicks in.
Yeah.
Well, they let me and Brian Helm in right out of the gate. And sure enough, there's 2 fucking dudes in Speedos and fucking suspenders just serving bar. I was like, fuck, it is really a gay bar, dude. And we hung out and we drank until that place closed down as well.
Good time.
That shit was fucking hilarious, though. And I didn't realize that until like later on when I was telling the story, how they just let us in front of the whole line. It's like, oh, because it was a gay bar. And they thought we were gay going in there to drink. Fuck, that was funny, man. We had a lot of fun that night.
That's crazy. I mean, shit, it's a story to tell.
Yeah, dude. It was fun. I think doing a party at Yellow Rose Canyon is great. Yeah. I mean, it's a great place to party. In that bar, you know, every year it gets fucking better. And there's opportunities. So like last year, the art show got kind of rained out in the woods. I didn't want to set everything up for it to possibly get rained on because everything was very exposed. I mean, we were in the fucking elements back there. And we took some of the art and put it in that bar. You know, there's fucking...
I saw the big
There's
prints,
tons of, you know, I'm sure the space will get smaller and smaller as time goes on. But, you know, there's opportunity to fucking trick that place out and, you know, do whatever you want. I mean,
I thought the rain this year made it such... Like, the storm was gnarly, but, man, like, that lightning show afterwards all fucking night long.
Yeah.
I mean, because, you know, we set up on the hill, so we got, like, a perfect view down towards Wall of Death and all that, and just the lightning going on behind it. It was a unique experience, you know what I'm saying?
Beautiful.
Yeah, it was so sick. And, I mean, it was kind of hot this year, you know, and that rain cooled it off because it was hotter this year than I feel like it's been since they started it off. You know what I mean?
No.
I think so.
I wasn't paying attention.
It was hot.
Was it?
Because I don't shower when I go there, and I had to shower this time. I can go 3 or 4 days without showering as long as I'm not sweating my ass off all night, you know, or during the day. And this time it was pretty gnarly.
Dude, I got it made over there. I got that little cabin, AC's just cranking, ice fucking sickles just falling off of it, dude. My wife goes to bed early. She's just waiting in there for me to come fucking.
I think this year, Friday night, I think we were the last people awake on that entire campground. We started riding around looking for anything going on just to see what was happening and couldn't find anything.
Those fucking espresso martinis got you up, didn't they?
Yeah. We came to party. So, but I mean, like that, I don't know. It's just like shit like that. I mean,
I can't believe you didn't find the party in the woods, dude. It was back there though.
I don't think the lights were on because we didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? So
you might have showed up after we fucking shut her down, dude. Once we ran out of 805 and I brought like fucking, I don't know, like 3 or 4 jugs of tequila and whiskey and was just passing out shots.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was a good one. Yeah, I set up the Christmas lights. There was 2 trails of Christmas lights going back there. And dude, it took us 2 days. I mean, we hung them up right in the middle of the trail. I think one of them was like 300, 400 foot long, all the way to like the bar area. And then there's this trail through the trees. When I turned on the lights that night, dude, bikes were coming down from every direction, people on foot, dude. It was mayhem, right?
So with you doing the CeeLo Scramble this year, are you going to do that in the woods again, or are you going to go back out with the old way?
No, I got a whole nother trick up my sleeve.
Okay, cool.
I'm not sure what it is yet, but I got some ideas.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll see. We're how really it all pans out.
We're really trying to build out that hill and make it like I put my homies up there that kind of like are with the program I am, where like your booth doesn't shut down. You sell your shit during the day, and then at night it turns into a party spot. So if you're trying to come here and set up with us, and then go to your cabin or something at 9 o'clock, you can't come sit up here with us. You know what I mean? Because we want the whole thing to be live and jumping all night long, and it's on the hill, so you can see it from everywhere that you can see across the property. So
it's a good spot.
Yeah.
Definitely is a good
it's
spot.
kind of uneven in some spots, but we make it work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so,
whatever. Just adds to the excitement.
Yeah, it does.
You got to be on your game after those espresso martinis.
It was better the year before whenever you had the art show right down there, because it just had more in that vicinity.
Oh, dude, that fucking night we did the CeeLo Scramble 2 years ago was fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah.
It was great. I remember calling Oliver, like, Oliver, I need you to send somebody down here with some beer. He's like, why don't you just come get it? And I was like, you'll see. You'll see. Just come down here, dude.
Wild,
I can't get out of here right now. Dude, that was good. Yeah, we're going to do something like that. Yeah, it's just going to be in a different spot. You'll be able to see it from where you're at.
Okay. Well, as you've said already, man, that property just has endless opportunity. At least now it does, you know. But
It always did, dude. I mean, that property hadn't gotten any bigger.
well, I mean, like as
People
it
are starting to
grows-
see, you know, how much, you know, at first, the first year, couple of years, everybody would just camp right as they got in there.
Yeah.
And then they would start seeing how big the property is. Now the camping goes all the way back to the, you know, that fucking giant field in the back.
Yeah.
And it's hard to even get a number on how many people are there because everybody's so spread out the whole time.
Yeah, and I get a lot of people that want to do Born Free, but they want to come there and then they go get an Airbnb somewhere. And I'm like, man, you're missing the point. Like, I feel like Born Free Texas has the daytime opportunity to do stuff and then the nighttime. So it's like the unique experience of Born Free is that you don't have to leave the property.
Yeah, but people need porcelain. They really do. You know, like there's and I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that there's like in Tennessee, we're like hit this apex of growth where, you know, Buck was pointing out how if there was a hotel right down the road with 1,000 rooms, there'd be 2,000 more people there, you know, just because of that, which you know, it took me a while to wrap my head around because I never considered that. Yeah, people do need like a,
well,
they
then
need their
it
own
goes into
porcelain.
that whole point of like, okay, well, obviously you want an event to grow. And I think Born Free Texas, I think once it hits maybe 2,000 more people, it would be like the perfect.
how many people you think were there last year?
I think it was between 3 and 5, I think. So I think 7, because you know, Born Free Cali is like 20,000 people or some shit comes through there.
30 or something.
Yeah, it's like not that but it's so confined that I think that maybe there at Born Free Texas, if you had 20,000,
If you had 20,000 people partying,
that would be insane.
yeah,
It would be.
that'd be like Giddy Up back in the
Yeah.
day.
Boy.
I mean, that campground was just smaller, so it felt like 20,000 people.
Yeah. But yeah, I feel like a few more would be like this perfect like Goldilocks zone of like the right amount of people to have the party never end or always feel like it's got something going on versus, you know, then maybe if you get too many people, then it loses that kind of like feeling that it had or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, I think you could have a shit ton of people there. I mean, that fucking rally to the crater that they used to do, I mean, that place used to be filled up. Campers everywhere. Now, it would get pretty gnarly.
You did you party at the Penn Shawshank last year?
Nope.
So this will be your first year to do it
Yep.
this time?
Yeah, and they've got now camping down the street at this racetrack. They're going to be doing races out there, chopper drags.
That's cool.
They're going to be doing all sorts of shit.
I think the one event that I really, really want to try to hit this year is with the Iowa boys to do the Hell on Wheels.
Oh, yeah.
That's the one I'm trying to go to.
Yeah, that's a good one. He's doing a Kickstart competition for me
Yes.
this year. Yeah.
Sick.
Nick's doing that one.
Yeah.
I think Nick's been doing that one for a couple of years now. So he's doing that one. Winner gets a knife. Winner gets tickets to Born Free Texas. Come on down.
What would be dope is if like the Hell on Wheels could roll into Chopper Fest, Kansas City.
Is it that close?
Yeah, because I want to say the Hell on Wheels is like around, I think it's right around the time that Party at the Pin is.
In June?
No, the
in Idaho?
Idaho, yeah. I don't have a calendar right in front of me.
Dude,
It's
there's
all-
so much shit going on
Yeah.
all year long, dude.
I ain't mad at it, you know.
I mean, I would be more stoked if there wasn't as many.
Yeah,
Because it would make people go to others.
True.
You know, they would travel out more. All the events would be bigger if there wasn't as many options.
Well, I mean, you could say that about Party at the Pin, you know, having 2 events, or Born Free having 2 events. You know, it's kind of like giving like a little bit of structure to another part of the country that doesn't maybe have an event that feels like that. But then again, to your point, like I think the point of Born Free,
Not
Cali-
many people are going to Born Free Texas and Born Free California.
Yeah, agree, and that's why I think that like why I'm such an advocate for it because I feel like it's the one event that feels different from each other. That's you can go to one and have a completely different experience at the other.
Oh, 100%.
And be equally as fulfilled, if you will.
Yeah, depending on what your cup looks like.
Exactly. But to your point, yes, I do agree. There's so much going on. I mean, nitty gritty. Then the next weekend is Fandango, and then the county seat kickback is a little bit of gap between it. But now we have that going on in Denton. I get it. There's just opportunity, and people have ideas, and they want to do it. So I wouldn't hate on that aspect, but yeah, it'd be so sick if people could all collaborate together. Maybe an event that has more riding aspect could maybe ride to a final destination of another event. Like, what if?
I mean, there's some guys that did that from Nitty Gritty, dude. They left Nitty Gritty, did exactly what I did the other day. Twisted Sisters out to Big Bend, then landed back at the Fandango. I mean, that's the fucking move.
It is. I mean, so that's why there could be a benefit to these things if people planned a larger trip to hit both or whatever. So
I would love to add an event in Texas, down in fucking the hill country or fucking the Twisted Sisters. I mean, Fredericksburg's so close, but there's no good time of year to do it,
Yeah. And the time of year that you would do it is kind of like the hot season for everything else going on.
Yeah, exactly.
So, October in Texas is awesome. March, April, good time in Texas to be out. You have to deal with more rain in this month, but for the most part, it's good camping weather. That's why like Nitty Gritty being in March now is I'm a big fan of it because it's typically maybe a t-shirt during the day, but sweatshirt, hoodie at night. Mm-hmm. Good. Get you a fire going, shit like that. But
whatever happened to your fucking camp out? You just quit doing that?
Yeah, I feel like it ran its course. Like in the early days of the performance bagger and this whole performance community, there wasn't really anything that was kind of structured for that community. And our camp out was all about these bikes. And so many people from across the country would come, and it created a lot of things, a lot of brands, a lot of businesses, a few marriages, a lot of things came from a lot of good stuff. But it got to a point where now the whole industry was about performance motorcycles now. So everybody was getting pulled in all these different directions. And, I just felt like, it served its purpose. It got people together when there was nothing else for them to get together on. And now that the industry is about performance baggers and, motorcycles, everywhere you can go, there's something performance related. So, and it's a lot of work, and it wasn't structured to be profitable.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to do that. If you're going to keep doing them, you got to be making some money.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I mean, the only way I made money was was selling t-shirts. Like we would make a camp out shirt and then that would sell. But, if the numbers would start going down because people would, I'm going to do Daytona instead, or I'm going to go to the camp out that's around the corner instead. Well, then it's like, okay, well, how many t-shirts do I make? Do I make 3,000? Not 3,000? Do I make 200 shirts or 300 shirts? So it just got to the point where it's like, man, and then it's like every time I would talk about charging $10 or $20 to get in for the week, it's like the internet would lose their mind. Like
yeah. If you start out free.
Yeah. So it ran its course. I had a good time, but like I really wanted to.
I mean, that area is fucking great.
It is. It's a beautiful area to ride. I mean, it'd be nice if there was a little bit more attractions to ride to other than just good roads. Like you could do a good road and then there's like this sick ass, steakhouse on the other side of it. Cool. But the rural part of Oklahoma just doesn't have a whole lot of that, but it does have good riding and good stories to be made. So it ran its course, man. It really did,
How long has it been since you did that?
We ended it, 2 years ago? So 24 was the last year of it. And then this year, I think some of the dudes that go to bike night are trying to, I guess, revive it or something like that. So they're doing a T-Bar Tuesday thing, but I'm not associated with that at all.
No more T-Bars for you?
No, I mean, I have T-Bars on my choppers, baby. So T-Bar of the world. But I think that, like, I like the idea of a run. I think the run feels good.
I love that idea.
So the same way you're talking about doing Big Bend, like I always thought it'd be sick to find like, whether it's through Colorado or through like a Maggie Valley, like find a couple of those motels where you can sit in your bike out in front of the hotel, you know, and just like do a couple spots, runs to different ones.
Well, and I love the idea, like the Paradise Roadshow, just the idea of like finding a fucking cool hotel. You know, those shows are in cities, but like finding one in, you know, a Broken Bow and just like fucking renting out all the rooms. You know, we don't need any more people than whoever shows up at the motel, dude, whether you got a room or not, you know? And
same. I mean,
ride there.
That's kind of that was kind of like one of the things on my mind that I really wanted to do, because the original FXR jam, the East Coast jam, was in Maggie Valley, and it was at like one of those like motels. In the same way that I would sit at a campground by a fire and talk till 4 a.m, we did that in the parking lot.
Yeah,
and it felt just as special, if you will. So I like the idea, but you know, when the Paradise Roadshow started kicking off, it's like, fuck, that's a really good idea. Or what was it? Cheap Thrills had the same vibe. That event that was going up in Northeast, I believe. So it's like it's there, but like if I did that now, I'd just be copying that. So I'd rather just support those. So same.
You know, we did the motorcycle Trans Am riding in 1921, fucking coast to coast, different motel in a cool spot every single fucking night, all the way across the country. Was fucking killer. Every night working on bikes in the parking lot, looking for welders, finding welders, looking for whatever. It was fucking awesome.
You know, speaking of that, the one disappointment that I have and about like the chopper thing is not a lot of people ride choppers. So it's like I have this bike that I fucking I can't keep myself off of it, and all I want to do is ride next to another one.
Really?
Yeah. And there's some chopper dudes in Dallas. You know, you got Stefano and Elliot and some of those guys, but I've ridden with them once, but it's kind of like I want to find someone that wants to go ride with me to Big Bend or ride with me down to Galveston. Let's stop in Houston and go see Daryl. And like, I want to ride this fucker, but I want to ride it with some other dudes in choppers. And I feel like everybody wants to do it, but like Haney wants to do it. We talk about it all the time, but Haney's like pulled in a million directions. Like he's at Party at the Pin, East, West, you know, this, that. Like he's got all these events. So his vacation, his time off is, you know, kind of subjugated to those things instead of like, hey, let's take 2 weeks off and go ride to Colorado, this, and this. So you ride, but you're never home. So
because I ride.
So like even now,
but you know, it's because I don't sit around and wait on people to go ride with.
Well, I don't either.
And it doesn't, you know, you're not going to find those people overnight. You're not going to find those people bitching about it in your shop. You will find those people if you get out and start riding to those places, because there are people out there doing it. They're less worried about connecting with other people, even though they'd love to.
Yeah. But
the first priority is riding and going out there, because there's a lot of other people doing it. But you ain't going to find them because they're not watching podcasts. They're fucking working on their bike, getting ready to go ride it, you know?
Probably listen to the podcast.
Maybe.
A little Danger Dan.
Maybe.
Bringing back the road shows.
Dude, now you just, no.
Come on, we going to bring those back, dude. Those are some good times.
Yeah, they were great times.
Listen on you going to Boogie, or what was it?
You know, I got B&B Racing building my motors now, dude. There's a lot less fucking problems I run into when I take off on a trip. Now, the last trip, you know, I fucking, you know, shit does break. It happens. You get flats. You ride with other people, there's definitely going to be shit that happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, you'll find those people if you just get out and start doing it.
Yeah.
Just ride to the event. You know, like that's one of the cooler things about riding to the big events like Born Free, Sturgis, Daytona. Because guess what? There's other people riding out there to those events, and you see them on the road.
Yeah. So, you know, the Denton guys, Sebastian, you know,
the B team.
Do what?
Nothing.
The B team, is that what you said? They do stuff, but like they've invited me to a couple things that just didn't line up with stuff. But like, I guess I'm looking at the culture the same way I looked at the culture that I've been a part of. And I'm like, well, you would think there's, I don't know, I guess sometimes when you're on the internet, you feel like things are bigger than they are. You know what I'm saying? Like the scene, the FXRs are everywhere. And then you go ride places, you're like, you don't really see them that much. Same thing with choppers, even more so, right? I don't mean to say that like I'm just sitting on the internet like, hey, anybody go ride choppers?
That's what it sounds like.
You're fucking putting words on my mouth. Like I haven't been riding this fucker all over the state of Texas.
Well, you're just getting her dialed in, but literally just doing it. Like, and also nobody wants to invite somebody who just put their chopper together to go on a chopper ride. You know, when they've had their shit dialed and they're trying to go places, you know, like, you know, but if you're out there doing it, that's another thing, you know, but like one rule I came up with a long time ago, like when we leave on a ride from a house, you don't get to trailer to my house. You don't get to start the ride at my house from your trailer. Yeah. If you can't ride to my place or ride to whatever the starting destination is, you know, I'm going to be a lot less likely to make this trip conducive to making sure you can be on it. Yeah. You know, like if you can't get here on your own without trailering, you know, so.
Yeah, see, everybody's putting words in my mouth.
No, like, I'm just saying, like, you just got to start off by writing, you know, like, if you lean on that crutch of, I mean, I never would have been doing any of this if I would have been waiting on somebody that knew how to fucking fix my motorcycle to go with me or in the day. Cause I didn't know how to do it. And fuck, I didn't know anybody else that had time to go do what I was going to do. And if I would have let that stop me from just going, you know, then we wouldn't be sitting here probably.
Yeah. I mean, to that point, like I said, I've just wanting to get out. I want to find some people that are wanting to do the same type of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it's tough. It is very tough to, like, you know, I had this conversation with Nick the other day of like how lucky we are to have gone on some of the trips that we've done where we've had 5 or 6 grown men that have worked their lives to a point where they had the money, they had the means, and they had the time to all go together and ride to a place. Yeah. Like that's special. Like that is not something I take for granted, you know, and I've been able to do it a lot. So it seems like it's more feasible, but it's not for everybody, you know, like that is tough. Like even if you're riding motorcycles that fucking work and you press the button every time and they just go, you know, like it took you a while to get that way when you're riding your bag around to find other people that would ride your bagger. But going places and doing those things, you know, also help show people that you can do it and they want to be a part of that. And there's going to be people looking for people like you that are doing it, that want to go. I want to go with you. And you're like, well, fuck, does your motorcycle even work? What kind of gearing are you running? You know, like, are you going to be able to run the same speeds as me? Or are you going to be working your machine overboard and we fuck your shit up? Like you just start, you know.
Oh, I get it. I mean, fortunately, like you've met Kyle, right? Jive Ass Honky.
Yes.
So he just got his Evo chop. And so, you know, I was putting together a super e-car for him downstairs and like, he's down. I mean, he's done all the big trips with me. So he's wanting to do some shit. So I'm excited to have him on board. Cause he's, you know, I let him ride my gold chopper to that Texas Stampede last fall. And he's like, dude, I want something like this.
Texas Stampede. What's that?
That's when they did it in the stockyards last year.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool. It had a good vibe. I haven't heard anything about it this year. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but you know, but yeah, so Kyle rode that and now he's like down. And I think he's on him and our other buddy Jaden, we do these podcasts called Quaint Zone, which is our Wi-Fi password here. It's just some random word. So we've been doing those for a couple of years now and they're supposed to come on like next week. We're probably going to talk about his whole chopper horniness that he has right now.
What did he get?
Just it looks like it was a hard-tailed 99 soft-tail frame. So it's still Evo, or not 99, or I don't know what year. It's an Evo soft-tail, you know, hard-tailed. It still has some of the things like a clutch and stuff, but open belt, kicker only. But it's not like a 4-speed kicker. It's got like a different top on it. So, and it's not a cow pie either. So I don't know.
It's a 5-speed?
I guess it is a 5-speed, but it's weird. I haven't seen that transmission before. I'm new to that world. You know, most of the older bikes I fucked with are FXRs, rubber mounted base stuff. So, you know, but yeah, he's got it. He's ready to kind of make it his. And now I'm gonna have a riding buddy, and he lives fucking 30 or 40 miles west or east of Dallas. So we'll both have to put in a little bit of work just to go have a beer together. You know what I mean? But I'm just hungry, dude. For lack of a better term, I'm very horny right now for chopper shit. So, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, you know, my wife was trying to explain this to me yesterday. We were at a wedding this weekend wedding party. And, like kids run from that shit, like somebody who's excited and anxious and wants to like love on this kid. The kid's like fucking just runs away from it, I'm like, oh, it sounds like girls, like you want to attract girls, you just ignore them a little bit.
Yeah.
And go do your own thing. Sounds like that's what you're doing. That's what you're going through right now. Yeah, you're so anxious and excited, trying to grab a hold of something. Everybody's like, whoa, hey,
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's what I'm going to do. I mean, I was planning on doing and that's the thing is that most of the things I am doing is kind of alone because, all my other friends right now are riding modern bikes. So like them being limited to 70 miles an hour to stay up with me on the road or, hinder themselves while we're riding places, that seems miserable.
Dude, I had no problem rolling with those shovel heads down the PCH on a brand new bagger.
I feel like it's
those guys must not have their stereos plugged in.
Yeah. Well, the bagger, I feel like it's
you can only go 70 miles an hour on your bike
comfortably. I mean, it'll do 80, but like you feel it more. So I don't know what it's supposed to feel like or not feel like because it's new to me, right? So when I do, I mean, there's times when I'll ride it to bike night and I'm doing like 70 and I just have like my Google Maps up so I can see how fast I'm going. And I'm like, this feels pretty good. Like everything feels smooth on it.
Yeah.
But then there's times when like on the way home from biking, I don't know if it's cooler air or whatever it is, I'll be cruising like 85 and it feels just as smooth.
After bike night. Yeah, they run better after a few drinks, dude. Yeah. It's cooler out.
Yeah.
Blood's a little thinner. You can ignore a few more vibrations.
It just feels better, dude. So yeah.
It probably will run that fast all the time.
It probably will. Like I said, I'm just not used to it. So like if you were to ride it and you were to push it up there and say, like, yeah, this feels about normal. Like I said, I have nothing to compare it to. So same thing when I had the breakdown. Like
when you rode to Fredericksburg, were you by yourself?
I rode with Kyle. He was riding his lowrider, and then our other buddy Connor was on his lowrider ST, and they were chilling. They were cruising with me. They knew I couldn't go that fast. So,
I bet it'll go way faster. Do you think it will?
It probably will, but like I said, I'm just learning it, and also I don't want to fuck it up before I.
That's part of it.
It is, but I don't
you got to find out. You got to find out.
Yeah, well, that's what I did. I found out.
Well, that's just part of it. You better just get used to that shit. Like.
Yeah, so far that's the only breakdown I've had. I mean, I've had a few bolts coming loose I've had to keep an eye on and retorque down the proper way. And like I was getting my sprocket bolts would come out, and I caught it once, and then now I got PTSD from it because I've had that happen on other bikes. But then I took the rear wheel off, like really busted ass to make sure the alignment was perfect in the rear, torqued all those right, and I haven't.
How did you do that?
With micrometer. Or a dial indicator, basically just getting in there really tight to make sure everything was in the right spot.
What did you measure off of? What was
I measured everything. I measured the bolt the exposed bolt. Yeah, the adjuster. I measured between the holes. I think the first time when I put it together, it was just slightly off a little bit, and it was causing like that. As you know, when your wheel's slightly cocked in any direction, it'll work those those sprocket bolts out over time. So. That's dialed. I need you had mentioned something about the battery earlier. I really need to try to, I have a secure little thing. It's from like Junior's Handmade. That's a really clean piece that goes in there that holds the battery, but it doesn't really have a back hold, so it kind of just bounces. It's kind of, if you think about it, it's bouncing, but it's kind of like acting like a rubber mounted.
Is it?
I think so. It's not bouncing. I don't know.
Like that?
Not so much. Not that.
It's just kind of wiggling?
It's wiggling, yeah. Like if it just moves. But it's not, it can't slap anything. Like it can move in something, but it's not that like that.
Not banging.
Not banging on anything.
Should be fine.
Yeah.
Should be fine. I mean, batteries though, they will fucking they just quit working, dude.
And someone David Brown mentioned these small batteries aren't really made to go for a long ways. So
no, but I've seen deer feeders batteries go for a long time. Like just little shitty with the fucking blades on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it all depends on how they're used, the load that they take and everything, the heat cycles. with the motor
Everything.
on there.
Yeah, but I needed the breakdown because, like I said, I've never had that experience, and now that I kind of know what that feels like, I know what to check on.
Dude, I remember I fucking busted a battery in the middle of West Texas, dude. I call it bacon. I'm like, bacon, what the fuck, dude? I can't afford a fucking tow truck. I mean, should I just push the bike and walk? I ended up using like a water bottle and busting off the top of the battery and filling it back up with water and fucking got down the road just like that.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
And then bought a battery someplace.
Yeah, like I said, I remember listening to the road shows that you used to do, and you would talk about, I mean, you had like headlight issues and then heard battery more
Wiring
than once.
issues,
Yeah.
fucking points, everything, dude. And then I wouldn't know what the fuck it was. The troubleshooting was, you know, that's what made those shows fun, is because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing, and I would just talk about it. I would think it was one thing, and then I'd find out it was something else.
Yeah.
You know, or I'd run out of gas a lot. Fuck, dude, I ran out of gas so many times.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, I've learned from your road shows. So a lot of the things I did on this bike was more to mitigate the possibilities of certain things. But
You got mag wheels,
yeah,
so you got no tubes.
no tubes.
Nice.
Riding with him is why I never want to ride with. I never want spoke wheels because just spokes. There's so many. There's however many spokes possibilities of something getting loose, getting off. You know, poking tires. You know, having to have a tube. You know, there's times where we rode to Cali together. If he would have had mags, that his front tire popping would have been an easy plug, and we're back on the road for a while.
Well, it wasn't even the tire. It was the tube itself.
Yeah.
Brand new one, too. And it just popped like 4 days in.
Yeah. On Father's Day on a Sunday in the middle of Nevada.
Yeah, people want to help then.
Yeah. So, I mean, to me, and I don't get me wrong, like I love the way a traditional like spoke wheel looks on like an
Yeah,
old
it
chopper.
looks fucking sick.
It's classic and tried and true, but like every bike that I personally have, I want the ability to travel comfortably on it. And that's kind of why I've always liked the mags, go in the mags direction. But Invader wheels, sick. You know what I mean? I love those too. So
Yeah, I've had pretty good luck with my spoke wheels on my chopper.
yeah.
I had one. You know, I only have one incident I can think of where like a flat was very difficult to deal with. But I think I just ended up with some fix-a-flat.
Yeah.
Filled that
Solid.
fucking whole thing up, dude.
Yeah.
And it got me down the road. Yeah, I've been pretty fortunate. You know, you got to ride within the same tire tracks the rest of the fucking world is using. You
Yeah.
know, like people find themselves on a motorcycle. Well, you can ride anywhere in those fucking lanes. But I like to go where somebody else has been before, you know? You ride just on the line or just to the center of the lane.
Yeah.
You're more likely to pick something up because there's less likely that some other car has been through there and picked up whatever may be on the road.
Yeah. For sure. You ridden your bike to like New York City yet?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
chop?
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's fucking so sick,
I
dude.
know, right?
It was so fucking sick. No rules, just riding wherever, however. you
All
know?
concrete is available to be
Dude,
traveled
we
on.
fucking parked it right on Times Square at a fucking hot dog stand, dude. Just fucking blown away at how many fucking people were there.
That's probably I always tell people New York is one of the funnest places I've ever been on a motorcycle. You know what I mean?
It's a fun spot.
It is. People would 100% not associate that with good riding, you know, by
Oh, it's fun riding. though.
it's fun riding.
It's
That's
a
a
lot of fun.
better way to put it. Yeah. I don't know, man. I really want to take this place. What's crazy is getting the opportunity to work with Harley and have the new bike. It's like, it's a blessing, 100%. Like it's so like awesome to be able to do this with them. But I always say it couldn't have come at such a, maybe not the word wrong time, but a time when my mind is really on something else right now. You know, I don't want to say inconvenient but it is inconvenient because I wanted to
your
ride.
wants and desires.
Yeah, I wanted to ride the chopper to Born Free. I wanted to ride the chopper to Sturgis, but now there's obligations with the Road Glide and brands and Harley, and which I even feel like a dumbass for even saying it because it feels like such a complaint on such an amazing opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But I'm just being honest. Fucking,
Yeah.
you know, here's what it is. Like,
Yeah, well, you know, you're just gonna have to ignore some things. You know, one thing about having a chopper, dude, you can just be a degenerate. You know, fuck this guy's motorcycle, dude. I mean, he doesn't really need it that bad.
yeah,
You should probably ride to Mexico. You know,
I want to.
I mean, I feel like this guy can wait.
No, that dude.
I mean, I really do. You know, you got a chopper.
The problem is that no, I can't do that. It's not in my DNA.
It's a little different when he's paying for it.
Yeah, I need
No,
his
I
money
fucking
to go. I
totally-
need his money to go to Mexico.
All right, now we get down to
Yeah.
the bottom of it. Okay, that makes
I
more
am a
sense.
degenerate. I have no savings. I just have skills, and these skills give me the ability to make it through the day.
So you got to finish his bike, so you got money to go to Mexico's not that expensive,
Yeah. Yeah.
but getting there, you know, really you should just fucking leave here, go straight through mainland. Just fucking gas isn't any cheaper there, but everything else is. Just fucking ride straight to Mazatlan, take that ferry across.
And
Ride the
good
Baja
food.
all the way. Oh, the fucking food's incredible, dude. The people are incredible.
Yeah.
Every once in a while, you get to see like a bus on fire or some shit, dude. Maybe there's a roadblock because the farmers are fucking pissed off and they're stopping traffic.
Oh shit.
So good, dude.
I'll go down there with you. Let me do that.
Well,
When
you
ride
got to
your
go
chopper
down there on your
next.
own first.
I won't need you after that.
You got to.
I already know how to do it.
I mean, you know, I'm not saying it's out of the question, but
When you do your chopper tours, I'll do that with you.
chopper tours.
Yeah.
You know, see, the chopper tours, it'd be just like everything else. Like, you got to do 2 weekends with me. I got to make sure that I can even.
I don't even know that you and I have ever ridden together. Roughly 10 years knowing each other for the most part. I mean, I've heard stories that you're a horrible person to ride with because you'll just leave. Is that how you are with your tour? You just dip off on them and be like, sorry.
No, not at all. No, I mean, I do leave.
Yeah.
But those people that say I'm leaving them, I never said they were.
Yeah.
You know, like-
you're never riding with them.
I never like said, hey, let's go for a reason. So it's not like I left them.
Yeah.
They just like weren't very good at following, or they, you know, they thought one thing,
Yeah.
found out something else. But I, you know, I am that way too. Like no, on the tours, it's totally fucking different.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I mean, the main goal with those tours is to get everybody out and get everybody back in, you know, like hopefully alive, you know?
Were you inspired by like doing the stuff with Bear and everything on those?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. I mean, what I learned with Bear, yeah, definitely inspired what I'm doing now, you know, and inspired me to do it a way that I think is more conducive to my lifestyle and the people that I work with and, you know, everything else I got going on. You know, it's not going to be like a full-time endeavor. But yeah, I definitely learned some stuff working with Bear.
How has the t-shirt game been going? I mean, you've been pushing that pretty good for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, it's fucking, you know, I'm selling t-shirts. I'm not even selling t-shirts. I'm selling subscriptions.
Yeah.
It's good. You know, it's probably not as good as what most people may think. And it's definitely not as good as I would have thought when I first started. But I think it has a lot to do with, you know, probably me and the way I run the company. You know, I do a lot of firing, you know, and I don't have any employees.
Yeah.
But I fucking fire customers. If somebody complains about a color or a design or a shop, I just fucking send them their money back
Yeah.
and say thank you. But that's not what this is about. This is about, you know, spreading the word about all the small shops around the country that help keep people like us on the road, you know?
I mean, that kind of brings up another question. Like how do you currently, and how has it been for you to monetize your podcast over these past 10 years?
Well, here's what I do. So like you're painting motorcycles and I'm like, not. I'm just riding them just like fucking, like this guy right here. I'd be like, dude, I prioritize me riding motorcycles over everything. So you know, I haven't done a great job of monetizing the podcast because my first priority is just to fucking ride motorcycles, you know? It really is. I mean, that is like, when I say you have a chopper now, you can be a degenerate. I mean, I say that because that's, you know, I use that as my excuse to like I just got, I mean, I literally have a problem, you know, like it is not, you know, it is not healthy the way I live. Not for me, not for the people around me, you know, definitely not for my family. Mm-hmm. But, you know, I love it and I'm going to let it kill me, you know?
Well, that's, now everybody's like, see, Jace, that's how you should really do this podcast. Fuck making money. Like, it ain't about money. It's about,
you know, I don't have cameras. I mean, I probably should, but that's, you know, you talk about fucking sticking shoes in your saddlebag, you know?
yeah,
I got to make room for my Crocs and my coffee maker, you know?
Well, the, you know, I remember you had said this to me that you, when I first started, and because I mean, like when you first start this podcast, like even for myself, like it wasn't like it made money, you know what I mean? It takes time and whatnot, but I did have this connection to all these brands and stuff within this community because I've been working in the motorcycle industry for so long versus, someone like you on the outside, like you weren't from the motorcycle industry, right? So
not at all.
At all. You know, I mean, now I would say you are very much a part of the culture of motorcycling through and through, right?
I think it's just a part of me.
Fair, you know. But the same thing is like, you know, for me to be able to live and whatnot, the painting motorcycles does facilitate the home that I have and the bills that I have to pay. But like this podcast thing, I mean, it's been up and down. There was a point in time where I thought I could do this for a living. And then the economy went to shit. And, you know, when you're the brands that you work with to help keep this thing funded, when they, you know, you're the first thing to go before an employee goes if things aren't going well. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it gets kind of complicated to keep things going. The truth is like, if I had like a main gig that was paying the bills and then I didn't rely on this, then I would be completely content with it not making that much money, if any at all.
Yeah, and you may not do it as much either.
Yeah. I won't feel obligated to, but it's like when you get like, I always said that when this thing did make some money, like let's just say 23, I was literally going to shut the shop down and just do a podcast. And I was like, but I had spent 2 years like really not trusting the money that came from it. Right? Because I was like, I'm not used to making money that way. It's like some white collar job shit. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, this is really strange that like the YouTube, I mean, YouTube's never really sent me a lot of money, but you know, YouTube's like, here's $400 this month. I'm like, sick, you know, paid a bill. But once it got to the point where I started getting used to it, it's like I got, okay, well, that's now a source of my income. That's going to pay the shop rent and the mortgage at the house, blah, blah, blah. I just need to paint 2 bikes a month or 2 helmets a month, and then I can continue to have this lifestyle and travel and whatnot. Well, when that shit started going south, it's like, fuck, now I got to paint more. I was trying to quit painting. And then I'm like, hey, guys, I was just kidding about not painting anymore. Bring me that shit because the podcast went back down. You know what I mean? It's like, so it's just a weird thing to kind of like navigate how to.
Yeah, I mean, and there's no like fucking playbook to follow. Everybody's trying to do it on their own. There's fucking tons of podcasts. Those companies you talk about that you're working with, you know, they're just starting their own podcasts, you know, like
exactly.
Why fucking pay some? We've already got people on salary. We can convince them to do that on the side.
Yeah.
You know, I make a bunch of sacrifices, and like I said, so does my family, so that I can do this. Mm-hmm. And they don't go unnoticed. And you know, it takes a fucking village. Yeah. I mean, it really does. I got a support system, support team, I forgot a family that makes this possible. You know, am I treating them right? You know, just in the last year or two, I've started to realize like I've done a lot to make sure that I don't dislike riding motorcycles or talking to people about motorcycles over the past, I guess, 10 years now. Mm-hmm. Like that's kind of been the main goal, was to like not let this take away what I love so much. But you know, what I love so much is really like what is over there? What's on the other side of that hill, you know?
Discovery.
The curiosity is what drives me. But trying to figure out how to balance that and do some things that are more proactive and diversifying what I've got going on and working with other people and bringing them into the fold. in taking on that responsibility, because I do have fucking 2 kids that just keep eating more and more, dude.
Yeah.
You know, my fucking kids are getting big. My youngest kid dude, he fucking put me in a rear naked chokehold. Fucking black me. I pissed myself, dude. Christmas night last year, dude. Fucking my kid choked me out so fucking hard. Yeah. I mean, they're getting big, you know?
Yeah.
But I'm also like, you know, throwing them to the wolves to some extent, you know?
Yeah.
I have a pretty old school mentality on raising kids, and you know, that's at least an excuse I use. Like, they're going to be fine whether I'm here or not. They're going to fucking, you know, most people I like had a fucked up childhood, you know? So I'm trying to fuck theirs up, you know, so that people like them one day. You know, at least that's what I tell myself. It makes me feel okay about
Justifies
just leaving those motherfuckers.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the right move? Fuck, I don't know, you know? Is this sustainable? You know, sometimes I think it's not. Sometimes I'm shocked that I've made it as far as I have doing what I'm doing, the way I'm doing it. But I've also kind of let some things go, or not taken advantage of some opportunities, because I'm like, dude, you know, if I say yes to that, then I have to do this or that. And, you know, that complicates things. You want me to make a video, you know? Fuck. You know, try to not take myself as seriously as I once had, you know, while also trying to figure out new ways. You know, I would love to go do that, that South America trip. I would love to go do that in Africa. Spend the next fucking 8 months just finding out what's next. But I can't do that and be okay with myself.
Yeah.
So figuring out ways to take advantage of the places I know, the people I know, and the resources I have, and using them more efficiently so that I can spend as much time with my feral kids, you know, and my wife, you know, and it's never seems to be enough, because it's always seems like it's more and more, you know, it's not getting easier.
Yeah.
You know, that's what's crazy is I've been doing this for 10 years and it's only gotten more difficult to keep doing.
Yeah.
Somehow. Which is insane to say out loud. But that is the truth. It is absolutely the truth. You know, even with, you know, the people around me, it's fuck, I don't have a community in my area that rides motorcycles. You know, when I come home, I'm fucking with my family. All the guys I used to ride with, the Water Street Winos, where our blood alcohol content was always higher than miles ridden. Yeah. We don't even get together and drink anymore or hang out and ride, you know, because when I'm on my bike, I'm fucking gone, dude. You know, I'm fuck, I know some really sick places to go. And I'm being pulled in so many different directions, but you know, using the podcast, the Kickstart competition, the tour company, just the motorcycle, you know, the brands, Harley, you know, the companies that I work with, there's you know, they started out as friendships and now we're figuring out how to scratch each other's back. And, you know, me come to a place where I can comfortably ask for money and feel it's worth it in return.
Yeah,
and I'm not you know, I'm not asking for a handout, you know, I'm just hey, it is more difficult for me to do this now than it was 2 years ago. Show me that you care about me being able to do this again next year. And those conversations have been very well received, but it's also because I put in some work up to this point, you know?
Yeah, I can definitely attest to the whole, it's gotten harder thing, because, you know, when I started this on my end, there wasn't that much expectations. And then whenever we were you know, 2 years in, we were you know what? I want to build a studio and I want to go video. It's I push myself because I'm a constant I don't know. I want to feel there's another goal to chase within whatever I'm doing, and the video was a goal. And then now the recent goal has been more what I'm doing in the world of motorcycling. That's changed kind of the conversations that come across the table. But finding for everybody out there, and to just connect with you, is I live very cheap. My livelihood, everything, we live in a very cheap home. We don't have car payments. We, you know, we're not balling. We're none of that. It's just I want to be able to travel more and do more of that. So I need to have as least amount of bills as possible so that it can be possible to be on the road, you know. But that's why it's getting to a point where it's like, man, I just kind of feel like I need a gig, just to pay the bills, do this on the side. I have a weekend off. I can go jump on a bike and not have a worry in the world for 2-3 days, whatever the case may be.
Well, people definitely underestimate the the pleasures of having a job you can clock out of.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. It's tough, and then not to say it's tougher than fucking a lot of jobs out there, you know what I mean? But you mentioned it a while ago. It's like also staying in love with all this stuff. You can find yourself starting to hate motorcycles because a lot of your stress comes from motorcycles in one form or fact,
I always just let the curiosity, drive my actions. Like, going from the chopper to the Pan Am, like that was, I didn't do that because Harley needed somebody to fucking showcase a motorcycle. No, I was already on that path,
Yeah.
And like, building an M8 chopper, I like just something new, like just like what's on the other side of that fucking mountain. I'm like, well, what can we do with this fucking bike? It's fun and intriguing. And I think like, learning something new is healthy, like it's absolutely good to fucking puzzle your mind and try and work through some problems. And that's one reason I like riding off road so much and like places I've never been, because you got to make like split second decisions, where you could get fucking hurt really bad if you don't make the right decision.
Yeah.
I love that pressure, and it's so fucking good, I work good under pressure.
No,
That's kind of the only time I work is under pressure.
Yeah, same. No, that's a good point. I mean, finding the challenges in life is what keeps you kind of like alive feeling, you know what I mean?
Yeah, just fucking winning, dude. Having small victories.
Tiger blood.
And you can figure those out on your own. Like, small victories fucking just keep you going, dude. Having something to get excited about, having something to look forward to, having something to achieve gives you like the reason to go down the road,
Yeah.
Like the destination can do it. The destination can be a goal or whatever it may be.
Yeah. I'm with you on that. I feel like the goals that I set is what kind of keeps me motivated to go through things. And I think it's kind of like I used to associate to you remember my little brother, right?
Yeah.
This band, or just him in general, but he had a band that started getting kind of good, right? And all the time I felt like he would like, man, I'm done with this, I'm quitting. And they would get a little bit of a like an opportunity that kind of ignited the passion or gave him a little bit more fuel to keep going a little bit further.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what happens a lot in these kind of worlds where like I'm at a point now where I'm like, you know what, I really want to I want to move this into another direction, but then something will happen on this side that's not like change my life thing, but gives me another jolt of like motivation to keep going.
Yeah, it's just a little breadcrumb.
Exactly. And it does take you to a bit, like I'm in a much better place than I've been before, but it never solves a problem. It just kind of more or less just illuminates a new problem. You know what I'm saying?
It's just a clue.
Yeah.
Fucking gives you direction. Let the wind blow you around. That's what you got to get out there on that chopper, dude. Just fucking point it west. Don't set up no fucking podcast. Just take them as they come, as the opportunities arise.
That's kind of what we do a lot of times whenever I do get out. I'll reach out to bigger brands that I'm like wanting to do, but this past weekend, I'd go into that hog rally. Man, I met this dude Peyton that's riding around that shovelhead and chopped it up with him. He had just moved back to Lafayette from San Francisco, so he was telling me what it was like building his chopper and riding around that would have never happened the way it happened and feel as organic and cool as it did had I been following this dude on Instagram for months and then we linked up. There was no expectations. It was just like whatever the fuck happened, right?
Yeah.
And so I do attest to that, just getting out and being open. That was a big thing that like when I did my 7-week trip on the gold chopper downstairs, like I wanted to photograph the country and ride the country and spend an exorbitant amount of time on the road. Very inspired by Todd Bluebaugh and his book. But I spent a year prepping for that trip, and all I did was create expectations the entire time. So the entire trip was a fucking mind fuck of like, I didn't get enough photos here. This is the last time I'm seeing the Pacific Ocean. Did I get enough? Is it right? I didn't do enough podcasts. Like, it was just so much that I hinged to be gone for 7 weeks that I felt like I owed it to my life to have a lot to show for it. And it didn't ruin the trip, but it really exposed things about myself that I definitely have needed to work on and have worked on.
There you
since.
go. There you go. Then the trip worked.
It did work in hindsight. It didn't work on the plans I set though.
Yeah. Well, fuck those plans, dude.
Yeah. But this is the way I am. I'm a planner, like I control freak for the most part. That's the way I am.
Yeah, well, that shovelhead will teach you some more.
Yeah,
You're
100%.
just getting started, dude.
100%.
Because
That's probably why it's so enticing,
Yeah, because you don't know it. The curiosity. Can it get me there? It will. It can.
Yeah.
Probably not going to get you the way you think it should or the way you want it to. I've said this many times. With some of the most epic things that have happened to me in my life was from breaking down someplace. Like that South America trip, dude. Dude, it was killer. It was so fucking killer. I mean, the places I got to see, the food I got to eat, the roads I got to ride.
Yeah.
But one of the most memorable things was when the thing finally fucking quit working. And it wasn't even that it quit working. I tried to fix some shit that I should have ignored and fucked it up completely to where it didn't work at all. Because I fucking broke some plastic spring loaded bullshit. And I had to rely on the people around me, dude. I ended up having to reach out to somebody, and his brother showed up after driving 10 hours and picked me up in a fucking Toyota Hilux, and we stuck the bike that weighed as much as that truck in the back of that thing and drove another 10 hours back where he came from.
That's wild.
And I got to immerse myself with their family. I was stuck there with no ride, dude. We were fucking cooking food every night, drinking wine and eating beer and meeting his family and him having people. It was incredible.
Yeah.
I really got to not just see the culture from through a window. I had to go inside. It took my motorcycle breaking down to have that happen. And I wouldn't give that back for the world.
Yeah.
I almost wish it would have broke down more, in some other places. Yeah. For real.
Well, yeah. I do. I know that. I know that feeling of when someone in town or you go sleep on someone's couch, you get way more. I feel like you get a better experience than if you just grab a hotel.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, you immerse yourself in it.
Yeah, and then, that's something I try to do that a lot for people that come through here. I'll put them up or take them out, whatever the case may be. But some of my closest friends now are people that I might have knew them online, but I was like, hey, man, I'm coming through. Let's do a podcast. And like, well, all right, I'll get you a hotel room. I was like, man, I can sleep on the couch or fucking in the garage. I don't care.
They're like, fucking, we don't want you sleeping on our couch, dude.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, man, let me sleep on the couch.
I always say the shop. I'm like, do you got a cot, dude? Just put me in your shop, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to sleep in your kid's bed. Just put me in your shop.
That's
I'll just sleep on your floor of your shop.
Yeah.
One time I showed up to his shop, dude, and I swear the fucking whole floor, it was me and Kickstart Mike, dude. The whole floor is covered in hydraulic fluid and fucking metal shavings. Mike was like, dude, I've worked my whole life so that I can buy motels. That's what we're doing right now. We're going to get a fucking motel. I was like, okay, all right. Not all shops are created equal.
Yeah. Well, in that case, I understand. But, to the point of what you were saying and what I'm trying to just co-sign on, it's finding a way to get involved with the people around there. It's the difference between being a tourist.
What I'm saying is you just got to take off on that shovelhead.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
fucking wait on nobody. Just fucking go. Maybe even get rid of your cell phone. Pull out a fucking paper map, dude.
Well, I don't carry. I don't put my phone on the bars or any of that stuff. I usually put it in my backpack behind me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm pretty
How
good
do you
with
know
maps.
where you're going, dude?
I'm good with maps.
What kind of map do you look at? You just look at it ahead of time.
I'll just study it and be like, okay, and the next gas station is going to be whatever on mile markers or, when you go west, it's not like you have a lot of turns. You know what I mean? Going east, I'd probably have to have.
I'd like to find somebody to talk to that knows a lot about how the roads are laid out and how they number them and the consistencies involved from, and I've talked to people that know state roads, different states have different procedures when they build roads and how they, down to how they mark the turns, like what the radius is, how fast you can go around them, or when the warning signs show up when it's 45-mile-an-hour speed limit or a 65 or a 75. And you got to slow down to 45. Just little things I pay attention to are consistent in some places. In some places, they're just not done very well at all.
Yeah.
There's a road in Mexico that I always talk about. It's outside of Orizaba. And it's the old main road to get out of Orizaba to go to Oaxaca. And it's so fucking killer, dude. But they will never make another road like that. Like, engineers are just way better at making roads. I mean, this road's got like off-camber turns, decreasing, increasing radius. I mean, it's just fucked up.
Yeah.
And the pavement's great because trucks can't even drive down it.
Yeah,
that's how fucked up the road is. But it's, the pavement's great, but the road is just fucking wild, you know, and there's no fucking signs. It's so killer, but no place is making roads like that anymore because they have like engineers that decide, just like when you build a house, like you got to build it to these specs. Well, the states each have their own, specs of how they build the state roads down to counties. And then there's like the national road system that fucking, the interstates. It'd be cool to talk to somebody that knows that shit really well. Because that shit fascinates me. Looking at numbers all the time, going east and just like, the odd numbers are going north and south. The even numbers are going east and west. There's other things like that I'm not aware of that I haven't picked up on.
I'm not super versed in it, but like what fascinates me is like as you look at East Coast versus going west, the placement of towns. Like on the East Coast, I think it's like 5 miles on center in a lot of areas because that was like the time it took to walk to market.
Really?
Versus here, we're 30 miles on center, just about all the major towns. Like Texas and a lot of the Midwest. I mean, the central part of the country is all like 30-mile spreads on stuff. But out east, it's crazy. Like you look at it, it's all 5 miles apart. Just about every little, town or whatever. Until you get, like a place like Philadelphia will grow up into one huge place. But like the old fucking, like the backcountry, if you will, because everybody was like walking to shit back then, early parts. Out here it was trains and then obviously whatnot. But I think the way the town, like the railroad built the towns going west, right? So that dictated a lot of the spread of the towns, which then dictated a lot of the routes that people would go to those towns. So like when you get your 287s, that's kind of like,
Well, and that's until you get to the Rockies though. And then it all changes because the natives and the people like the Comanches in the middle. Yeah. And all that affects all that. That shit's interesting to me.
Yeah. I mean, the mountains definitely changed a lot of that terrain too, because now you kind of go back to more of a, I guess you would say a primitive, maybe more of a like necessity based town stuff where this place is tucked in the right spot for resources.
Yeah. Because there's a river crossing coming up and a lot of people stopped here to wait till the river was good to cross.
Yeah.
Or till the mountain was clear to go over. Mm-hmm. Dude, and all those tracks were also fucking, traveled by natives and wild animals ahead of time. That shit fascinates the fuck out of me. Like West Texas, there's a guy named, what's his name? Ben something, dude. He was a highwayman for like 50 years. But he's written a lot about West Texas in the Big Bend area and how all those roads and trails were traversed years ago by the trade from the Candelaria that they were smuggling in from Mexico. And just the way to get it. There's 3 ways to get into Big Bend. There's the Persimmons Gap, and then 2 others. The route you come in from Alpine and then Presidio. And then there's a couple other ones, but those are like harder to do, and they were all based on like, well, if you're going on a horse, you can get there this way. If you got a wagon, you got to go this other way because the wagon will make it. And then if you're an outlaw, you skirt all of those places and they have their own route that's a little bit more technical that is less traveled where they won't run into as many people.
Yeah.
And then the roads are built off of all that. And now the fucking concrete's slowly taking in like a cancer and just fucking covering our entire country.
We can go ride more places.
You're right.
I'm not a dirt guy, so you understand, but I get what you're saying 100%, Well, when I read that whole fucking Empire of the Summer Moon book, it completely changed my joy of riding through these parts of the country that I think most people
your appreciation.
Yeah, it
for
changed
the ground
it.
that you can cover.
Like reading about all the stuff, all the the people that settled in West Texas and Kansas and all that, like I mean, I swear to God, like after I finished reading that book, it was right before Sturgis, like 2020, 21, 22, something like that. And I rode all through, like instead of going 35 north or going all the way to Colorado, I went to the Panhandle of Texas and went up north through that. And I'm like, it was just dope seeing these towns that I read about. And then it's like, it just, like I said, again, it changed my connection to it. I wasn't looking at these sleepy ass towns or this flat road as like, oh, this is boring. I was like, no, this is interesting. Like some shit happened here a long time ago.
I mean, fucking all over the country. What blew my mind is how well that book put in perspective how the Comanches were able to cover such a vast
swath
plains and being able to give directions. You know, because like when you're in the mountains in the Appalachia, if you say, you know, follow the sun that way until you see a fucking cliff. Well, if you're one hill over, you may miss that cliff. But when you're on the plains, you can say, you know, follow the sun until you see this fucking structure that they can draw on the dirt, which is some weird looking peak. And then fucking, you know, head towards the North Star. You could give directions and get people to cover a vast amount of land, a shit ton of miles in the plains, more so than you could in the mountains anywhere else. So they were able to like control a giant area that was tough to live in because they could point out the water sources and they knew where those things were, where if you didn't know about that shit, you know, that was the edge of the frontier, you know, where it turns to plains. Like people just fucking quit going, not only because there wasn't resources, but because the Comanches were fucking killing them, you know? They're like, get the fuck out of here, dude. Empire of the Sun Moon was a great book.
Yeah, I think that old Taylor Sheridan was like, I think I read something about they were trying to make a movie about it. You know what I mean? Which I think it'd be dope. I mean, that's just super interesting to me. And like I said, it really changed my perspective on a lot of it, you know?
Yeah, to do it justice, though, it'd be fucking rated X.
Rated X.
Dude, for real. I mean, I mean, what they fucking went through. You know, what's crazy is like, you know, it talks about Cynthia Parker, like not wanting to go back to the fucking Eastern way of life after living with the Comanches. She's just like, no, I think these guys got it going on. I know they make me work. Yeah. All the men are just out there fucking killing shit and smoking their pipe, watching the ladies prepare all the leather and the food and build the fucking teepees and move the teepees. And it's fucking savages, dude.
Yeah, I think she got buried like East Texas somewhere. I forget where. It's like somewhere with like that we passed like on 30, I think, going up to like Texarkana and shit like that. But you know, I rode my bike down. Actually, when I went to go, I drove through it. When I did a podcast with Daryl Borba a couple years ago, I wanted to drive through Fort Parker and all that stuff to check out that stuff. It's dope, man. Like I love all that shit. And then going down south, you get to where all the Germans and how they let all these immigrants have this to kind of be a buffer between the Indians and the white man, I guess you'd say. Mm-hmm. And it's fascinating shit to me, you know. And I think you just being kind of immersed more into like, you know, hanging out with Evo and them out there in Terralingua, like you just get these stories, and it's kind of like you were just talking about with, you know, being able to go get taken in by this family in, you know, South America to get your bike work done. Like you're in Terralingua area and you're with Evo and the other people from there, and just the stories and the history.
Oh, that place has got some wild fucking stories. Yeah, somebody was pointing out this old airport that, you know, they used to smuggle a bunch of shit in. They still probably fucking do. You know, people were up in arms about building a wall through there because it's a natural border. Well, shit, they've been smuggling shit over there for fucking years, you know, like a long time. I mean, still every fucking day people cross that border illegally and go to work in Terlingua, you know, every fucking day. You know, not that I'm saying there should be a wall, but to act like there's nothing, you know, that a wall wouldn't prevent some things is kind of fucking ignorant as well.
Yeah.
You know, Wes was telling me that Carroll Shelby and his fucking racing foundation built River Road. You know, I mean, that road is fucking epic. Yeah. You know, Carroll Shelby's history of just buying that ranch to begin with to test race fucking vehicles out there in the desert. And it's like, there's like no rules. He was the one that started the chili cook-off. Somebody told him that he couldn't turn fucking chili making into a sport. And he was like, we'll see about that. You know?
Wild.
Yeah. And, Yeah, in the trade routes, dude, and all the mining that used to happen out there, dude. There's some ruins that I can take you to that are fucking incredible, dude.
This country's so full of amazing rides and stuff.
I mean, that crossing in Lajitas, Blackjack Crossing, is named after General Blackjack Pershing, who was the first, U.S. military guy to get the U.S. military to buy Harley-Davidsons and bring them into war. And they fucking outfitted these JDs with fucking 50 cal machine guns. And they were down there fighting Pancho Villa on the fucking Texas-Mexico border.
Fuck.
That shit is hard to ride on a fucking Pan America. I can't imagine on a JD with a fucking 50 cal. Some dude riding in the side seat fucking, you're just, there's parts scattered throughout that fucking desert, dude.
Probably teeth laying around everywhere. Shattering.
Dude, teeth and fucking just spokes, whatever the fuck fell off those fucking motorcycles, dude.
Man.
And that was like, fuck, they would cross that. I mean, the fucking before the Texas Rangers, they would cross into Chihuahua with scalps of Indians and scalps of Mexicans and get paid fucking bounties on however many scalps they could pull.
Fuck. Yeah.
Have you read Blood Meridian?
No, not yet.
Dude, that shit's fucking
What's that one about?
good. It's about some scalp hunters.
Scalp hunting. Yeah.
Kind of draws. There's a guy named Bigfoot Wallace. He was one of the first Texas Rangers. It's loosely based on his life and a bunch of other people like the Glanton Gang, the Judges, and Imagine. They might be making that into a movie. What I was really hoping was, Jeff Nichols did the Bike Riders. He was introduced to the Bike Riders from his brother Ben Nichols, lead singer of Lucero. Ben Nichols did an album called Last Pale Light in the West that was a tribute to the book Blood Meridian. And I was really hoping that fucking Jeff Nichols would take that next bait and make the Blood Meridian into a movie. I mean, Scorsese tried to do it. What's that other goofball that did I think he did Grandma's Boy. Anyways, they've tried to do it multiple times, and it just hasn't been successful because it's so fucking gnarly, it'd be rated X if they did it justice,
What did you think of Bike Riders once it finally came out?
Oh, it's fucking killer, dude.
I loved it too.
It was fucking killer. I mean, it did such a good job of storytelling in so many different ways. And it put some sick ass bikes on the big screen, put some friends of mine on the big screen. Some that were already there and some that hadn't been. And it was just, telling that story in a way that really stayed true to like the origins of that story to some degree, while also being just different enough where, there was some separation, but also telling the broader story of like, how
it changed.
Well, like how when you create anything, it ends up being controlled by the people that it attracts. Like in anything that happens, anything like when I talk about DMT, Dangerous Motorcycle Tours, that is, whoever that attracts is ultimately going to have control as to where we go and how we get there.
I mean, that's based on what they want. That's the Harley story, right? What people do on the bikes is what kind of changed the course of it all.
Yeah, I mean, they fucking ran from it for a while, then they took advantage of it for a while, and now they're just like trying to figure out how to, survive now.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, they didn't like the outlaw image, the fucking, the biker clubs that were attaching themselves to that Harley Davidson in the 50s and 60s. And they were like, they didn't want to have anything to do with that. Just like Honda put out their slogan, you meet the nicest people on a Honda. Well, that was to say, hey, we don't have 1% clubs riding our motorcycles.
That's what I said on the last podcast. They had like a commercial where they had like a guy in a suit, like kissing his family, and he gets on a motorcycle and leaves.
Yeah, so Harley was, they sympathized with that thought. They didn't want to be the motorcycle brand that was, that people thought about when they think about 1% clubs. And then turns out, Willie G buys the company back and he's like, no, everybody wants to be a fucking part of that outlaw lifestyle. So we're going to sell it to all the doctors and lawyers and let you guys dress up.
Yeah.
And be fucking outlaws on the weekends and ride your fucking Harleys dressed in leather. And, you can go to Sturgis, you can go to Daytona. But yeah, it's
Yeah, that's a good point about the movie. It does, that what you said about how you started this with this idea, but ultimately the people that inhabit it becomes whatever they want it to be, essentially.
Yeah, those fucking kids showed up and killed that dude.
Yeah.
Like, fuck you. You're not fucking gnarly enough for us.
Yeah, yeah.
We had this idea of what this club was, and you're not representing it, even though you started it.
Yeah.
So we're going to kill you.
That's actually, honestly, in a way, I think maybe that's probably why subconsciously I might have, into the campout. Like maybe I had an idea of what I wanted it to be and it was growing into something else or whatever.
You were
the case
attracting people that didn't have the same goals as you.
I think it is what it was. Yeah.
I mean, that's why I think that movie it wasn't just like a movie for bikers. I think it was hard for people to see or take it in because it was done so well to stay true to that biker lifestyle. The violence, the fucking, the attitude, the motorcycles. It was done really well. It stayed true to that, but it also told a broader story that's very common in all aspects of life. And it was just done very well.
Yeah, I could see that now. I mean, I enjoyed the movie when it came out. You know what I mean? Like I watched it. It just felt good to see motorcycles on the big screen, like you had mentioned. And, there's so many good stories I think that people could find. Todd Blueball's story, his book, that would be a fucking epic movie. They could probably, especially with this day and age, with how many people are burnt out and just on edge and anxious and depressed. It's like, not that was what his book's about, but what the solutions to a lot of those problems might be on a motorcycle out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I call it wind therapy for a reason.
Yeah. And I just feel like, if maybe Hollywood, air quotes, could take on a motorcycle centric thing and maybe leave the club side of things out for a while and focus on the good, not the good, but just like the true benefits of being on a motorcycle, the discovery, like we're talking about, the all these aspects. There's so many great stories that can be said through that.
Have you seen Born to Lose?
That's the one that just came out recently. I haven't seen it yet. No.
Yeah, they're doing the film circuit right now.
Yeah.
It touches into that motorcycle culture. It touches into fucking, chicks and drugs and choppers and building old bikes and the connections that can be made. And how it can be healthy, and it can be, even though it is dangerous and it looks evil from the outside, there are some really good things that are just inherently good when you work with somebody to accomplish a goal and build something old. It's an interesting movie. I'm glad I've got to see that.
Yeah, I saw that they did like an initial screening of it when it first came out in San Francisco at one of the events that I think, or they threw an event for it or something like that, right?
Yeah.
But I haven't seen a way to watch it yet. Personally.
Well, they're doing I think this weekend. They just did a showing yesterday, maybe, and they're doing another one, and that's in Charleston or somewhere, Winston-Salem.
Okay.
They have a film, some kind of film. What do you call those fucking things?
Yeah.
Festival.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, hopefully it'll be out by the end of the year, either in theaters and or streaming.
That'd be cool. It'd be nice to see more stuff like that. You know what I mean? Keep our boy Jeff Milburn employed.
Jeff Milburn's doing just fine.
He's doing fine. Yeah.
He's doing just fine. We need to find him a new dog, but he's doing just fine.
Oh. His dog passed?
Yeah.
I need to reach out to him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, bikes in Hollywood. I mean, that's a fucking tough one, especially old ones.
Yeah, I mean,
and
maybe.
it's also not great for the masses. And movies play it so safe right now. That's why they make so many fucking DC comic movies, because so many people like those comic book movies. But they're not taking chances these days. Even with comedies, it's watered down for the masses. And it's one thing I've seen, at Tennessee Motorcycle Music Revival, right out of the gate, they came in hot with a fucking badass music lineup first few years. But because it was a biker event, they didn't get anybody that wasn't a biker didn't show up to see that music. People, they want to keep their distance because, the bikers are bikers, and people feel like they're not going to be accepted to be around or be a part of that if they're not bikers, which, They could be wrong. They could be right. I'm sure they're right in most instances.
Yeah, it
so to like
depends.
do a film that's like trying to communicate. I mean, I feel like bike riders did it. Like they communicated with everybody, but you had to immerse yourself in that world, which I'm sure was tough for a lot of people. I mean, I don't think that movie was as well received as, as I wanted it to be.
Yeah, I think a lot of people probably wanted it to be more flamboyantly action based and not story driven the way it was. But
Well, fucking that preview they put out looked like it was gonna be just fucking, run them down, shoot them up,
yeah.
shoot them up.
Yeah.
Like it made it seem like it was gonna be action packed the whole way. And then it was not that at all. I mean,
Yeah,
it
but
was, but it wasn't.
I think most people the book is a photo book. It's not really a story. It's interviews, right? So I mean, them writing a script off of what was there and adapting it to what it is, I thought was a great, situation. But yeah, a lot of people that never heard of it or whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's just, I get it. And that's what some of my friends that weren't really versed in this world of motorcycling says, like, oh, I thought it was going to be more like Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, the book wasn't like that. But
Well, dude, the way that he took those characters out of the book, put them on the screen, and also told that story that I talked about, while also taking, if you look into the history of the Outlaws, it's just really it's so well done that I could see how some people would not be stoked about it.
Yeah.
Because it's not done exactly the same way. It's like made for screen, but
Yeah.
it takes a lot of cues from actual history.
Yeah.
And then not giving the club its due credit. I could see how they would be, like, whoa, you took a bunch of inspiration and yet.
But there's usually some that could be something to do.
Well, that
with
could go
more.
both ways. They would be
Yeah.
upset if their name was on it. They're going to be upset if their name isn't on it, know?
Can't please everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's strikingly, like I would love to talk to Jeff and see like, where did the inspiration, like, where did you decide that some kids would come in and kill this guy? Was that because you did research on the history of that club outside? Did all this inspiration come from just the book?
Yeah.
Or did you go and look at what history you could find about the Outlaws Club itself or all other clubs? Like where did the rest of that story come from?
Well, it was also unique, talking about how, because it documented this in the movie, but basically the difference between the people that were coming home from Vietnam versus the people before. Like when they ended up beating up the one dude that was kind of like their original member that was talking about going to be a cop versus, the people,
Versus
the
Todd and
mentality.
his buddies that came back all fucking hot. They'd
Yeah.
been killing people over there. A little violence was, just a little violence for what they were used to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I thought it was a good way to tell a story, and I think with some kind of accuracy as well. That like prior to that, clubs were rowdy, but it was more like Marlon Brando and the Wild. It was the Wild Ones or the Wild Bunch or something like that, running
Ones.
through, town and just having a good time, and it being disruptive and
Well, and
dissonant.
then, that started in Hollister, and then the news put their spin on it, to make it seem like it was wilder than it was. And then the people read that and they're like, oh, we want to be that wild. No, not what actually happened. We want to do what
We
they
wanna do
said
what the
happened in
news
the
said.
news.
Yeah.
And it's just like art mimicking reality, reality mimicking art. And it just like being this crazy, endless feedback loop
Yeah.
that turns into Sons of Anarchy.
A serial killer. Yeah, it was wild. I mean, I enjoyed Sons of Anarchy. I mean, everybody says it was dumb, it's full of shit. Anytime, it's like watching. There's that movie, The Warriors, that was like about MMA fighting.
Or are you talking about the Warriors?
No, not the
clubs in
Warriors.
New York?
Not that one. No, I'm talking about.
Was that the one with the two brothers? Or
We
whatever?
had Tom Hardy in it, and it was like they were MMA fighter dudes, and like there's just it's like if it was just like a normal MMA fight, watching that shit would be like people be booing because they're on the ground, grappling. So a movie has to keep you engaged, right? Well, you can't watch like Sons of Anarchy has to be wild like that because they're not really making it for bikers; they're making it for the world that kind of like we were saying, like it needs to be wild and crazy so that there's some truth to it. There's some kind of like rooted truth in that, but it's like, okay, well,
Yeah,
now
it seems like it could
plausible.
be going on.
Yeah, right.
That's why a lot of things say it's like based on a story.
Loosely,
It's not an actual depiction.
Yeah. I don't know. I dig it all. But
well, there's like The Bike Riders is like the only film that I'm aware of that covers that in between the Wild Bunch and like Easy Riders.
Yeah.
All the other motorcycle movies were like post Easy Riders, where it's like choppers riding around.
Dude, you could easily I feel like you could easily just take the premise of Easy Riders and just modernize it and do something similar to that. Like
21 Days Under the Sky.
Yeah. You know, maybe with like more of a story driven, narrative, not so much just like.
Have you seen that movie? Fuck, what's the name of it? It's so fucking well and badly done all at the same time. Oh, dude, it's so fucking good. Oh, this fucking guy. I'm gonna butcher it. I can't do it. There's a fucking good one out. This guy, he's just like a personality. He was a fucking musician. He played Sturgis all the time. Him and his brother, I think it was, started this biker radio show on the internet. Like it was the first biker radio show on the internet, like back in the early 2000s. It happened to coincidentally coincide with their cousin getting out of prison for like hacking the AT&T satellites. And somehow they got him to build this biker radio and create, maybe he didn't create a following, maybe they attracted a following.
Yeah.
But then at some point, one of them, maybe his brother, won the fucking lottery and they made a fucking movie. And right out of the gate, dude, the guy's like at a crossroads on his chopper. It fucking breaks. He gets fired from his job. His girlfriend fucking leaves. Or no, that's what happens. His fucking biker, his chopper quits running. He gets fired from his job and his girlfriend leaves him. And then next thing you know, he's at the crossroads talking to the devil. Dude, it's
good but bad.
Oh, it's fucking both. It's so both. It's so both. It's like the storyline, when you say it, it sounds like, oh, this is good. You're like, this is.
But the acting is kind of like subpar.
It's a bike. Real bikers made the movie.
Okay.
Like bikers.
Yeah.
Like Michael Lichter's in the movie. He didn't even know he was in the movie. They like brought him over to fucking shoot a bike and they were, videoing him.
Oh, sick.
Beaner's in the movie.
For real?
There's a bunch of people in the movie.
God damn.
Like, from the industry. There's no fucking actors in it. Fuck, what is this guy's name? It's worth watching. You can get it on Amazon.
Are they on like modern bikes and everything? Like
no, he's on his fucking panhead chopper.
It's a panhead, okay.
He ends up like by the end of the movie, he's got a Captain America chopper.
Shit.
But yeah, I'm sure most of the bikes are modern, but the bike that doesn't run is this Kickstart fucking panhead or shovelhead. And the guy was like he was a fucking character in the industry at Sturgis. He played at the Chip like every fucking year. He was a personality. And I think he died in a motorcycle wreck like 4 or 5 years ago. Fuck, what is his name, dude?
The Born to Lose movie you mentioned, like when more stuff like that comes out and it starts to like be interesting, I think it'll inspire so many more people to make maybe self-funded.
Well, I mean, I thought the fucking Bike Riders was going to do that,
Well, maybe the Bike Riders had some kind of influence on this movie, even though I know this.
Oh, 100% it did. I'm sure it did, where they saw it being possible to do something like that.
I mean, it's with.
I mean, film is changing so much right now.
Dude, all of us out here, and I say us, there's so many people out there making YouTube stuff that the only thing really lacking right now is like, instead of talking to the camera, you're not looking at the camera anymore and make a movie about it. Get rid of the eye contact with the lens. Tell this story of us going across the country, whether it's in documentation form or, just like living out this. You know what I mean?
Like Stray's doing.
Yeah. I love his videos he makes. But like the Yin and Yang one was great. You know what I mean? And at first, and I've been thinking about this a lot.
The cell phone movie.
Yeah, exactly. At first, my first
shout out to Tay
watch of it. I watched it when it dropped, and I just sat on the couch and I watched it on my big screen, right? Which more people, you should watch motorcycle content on your TV and not your phone. You'll like it a lot more. It's better.
I guess I gotta get a big screen.
Just get a TV and watch it on TV. So when I watched it, I was like, cool. What's going on? I was trying to watch it as a YouTube video, right? Because as a YouTube video, like I'm used to.
You need somebody to explain it to you every step of the way.
But then the second time I watched it, after I think I had a conversation.
You just saw it as entertainment for your eyes.
I saw that a movie doesn't tell you everything up front. A movie guides you through a story, right? A YouTuber is almost like holding your hand through the whole situation, right? So it's finding a way to balance it out. Not to say that Alex was like, or I think it's Axel. I think it's not to say that he had all this grand idea, but I think the simplicity of it is what made it so fun to watch. And then as they got used to each other, you get more context towards the end of the movie, if you will. So what I'm getting at is like I feel like finding a way to document some of the things that you or I or people do on these motorcycles and the travels in a way of like not doing it like, hey guys, it's your boy, I'm out here, we're in Colombia, just broke down. Instead of being that way, show the breakdown, show something that is Colombia, and tell the story through visuals and soundscapes, if you will. And then just fill in the blanks with like some kind of dialogue that actually helps carry the story, but doesn't like give you too much information to where it's not that exact, if that makes sense. Good music is subjective, or it's not subjective. It's there's a little bit of ways that you can make that music fit your narrative in one way or another. The words, the lyrics could be literal things, but they feel different to individuals.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's the way a movie can come across, or if you do it that way, or some shit like that.
I'm sure there's somebody doing it right now.
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, to me, I'm nowhere near the place of being able to do that. But
do you digest a bunch of YouTube?
In certain times, like when I'm working upstairs a lot, I do, because I'll work on my desk and I'll play YouTube videos. But if I'm downstairs, like I've been for the last month or so working on this bike, I'm too engaged with other stuff to have something playing. Now I don't ever use this TV in here anymore. I thought about putting that downstairs and just putting YouTube on downstairs while I'm working and casually viewing it when it pops up. But I try to watch a lot of stuff. I find a lot of inspiration through YouTube versus Instagram. You know what I mean? But it's a little bit more time consuming. Pinterest is where it's at, though, dog. Pinterest is the best place.
Is that where you get your paint ideas?
Maybe not paint ideas.
Are you being serious?
Yeah. There's a lot of inspirational shit on there.
What are you getting inspired?
Just like things I'm into, like, the architecture, the graphic design,
like how you're telling me some of the color palettes
and
stuff too.
You could find good color palettes and stuff. Once you curate a feed on there based on your interests, it's actually interesting stuff, but without the context of comments and likes and all that shit. It's just things to be interested in and check out, So I dig it for that aspect. You know what I mean? Photography, ideas for photo shoots, outfits for like if you were gonna make a scene. I think about all that type of shit, man. I in another life I'd love to make a movie. I don't know what that looks like now, but I'm not saying I would never like consider doing something like that if I got there. So
fucking Stray's making a movie.
He is?
Yeah.
About?
Fuck, I don't know. I have no fucking clue.
It's a movie.
I just know he's going to shoot a movie. I just seen he made a post recently about it. He's got Cody Dunn, a couple of chicks, and I don't know. He fucking got some movie idea.
That's cool.
Dude, one of my buddies has such a killer movie idea. I fucking hope that he's a filmmaker. I just hope he's able to pull it off because it's so fucking good. Nice fucking slash and horror flick, dude. Could be so fucking good. Like Blair, it could be Blair Witch style, just small budget, just fucking. Oh man.
Yeah, if I could figure out how to get my boy Saxon, he used to do what he's doing here, run the cameras and help me out in the shop and stuff. But he moved to Salt Lake. But since he's moved to Salt Lake, he's become a really fucking super dialed videographer, creating stuff, making a lot of. It'd be so sick to be able to go on like a bike trip or something and have him like document it from that perspective instead of having to hold a GoPro up and film like that. And with the complete sole purpose of capturing those, 21 days under the sky kind of landscapes and lighting situations and shit like that. I mean, that 21 days was, watching that was the only reason I went to that, Chopper Supply, because I found that I saw that existed. The same way the Show Class magazine showed you that existed, that movie showed me that it existed. And then I used the internet to find out how close it was to home. And then it was Chopper Supply over there.
I need to go back and watch that at some point.
It's good, man. And then after you meet all the dudes finally and you hear all the stories from...
Who all was in it?
Kirpius, Troy, I forget how to say his last name, Gentry, and then 3G Nuck. What's his name?
Grossman.
Those are the four main ones. And then crazy is like when Todd was doing his book, he was on the road at the same time they were on the road, and he had intentions of They were both at Brooklyn Invitational Indian Larry Block Party at the same time, but supposedly they were gonna cross paths at one point. So I don't know. It was sick. And then for me, like that shit opened up all these rabbit holes of like going back and finding all these old blogs that were still out there from this culture. And that shit's badass, I really wish I could have been in it then. You know what I mean? It seemed like it was just so much going on, and it was organically finding each other through different channels than just following each other on Instagram,
Yeah, you had to you had to put something out there. You had to commit. You had to showcase whatever you had going. There's a little bit more effort involved.
Yeah, you would find the guys that were into the shit in your town, and then you would start like a co-op shop or co-op place to get like Brave Town or the Chun up there, or whatever the case may be. And then that would turn into, well, this dude's the welder, this dude's the, mechanic, this dude does photos, this dude does, you know what I mean? This guy's got the band, and they just had all this shit. And then next thing you know, they have a blog, and now they find the other blogs, and now it's like, it just seemed, I can't say it felt because I wasn't there to feel it, but it seemed as if it was a very, very unique point in time.
I think we saw the climax of that at the early giddy ups when they would all show up there to see who could out party each other.
Yeah. Miss that shit, man. But not to just say like, oh, those were the days, because today's the day too for whatever we're doing. So it's like, I want to take inspiration from all these things that these other men and women did and figure out how to same way I did my chopper. Like, okay, I love a lot of the things that people had already figured out before me, but I want to figure out how to make this feel like mine. So how do we take culture, not take it, but how do we
steal it, take advantage of it and pillage it?
No,
act like it never happened.
How do you
take
build
credit
upon
for all
it?
of it?
How do you build upon it?
Yeah.
I make it a point, everything I do, to pay credit, pay homage to the people that inspire me for whatever it is. When I did that gold bike, there's not a time that I take credit for that bike publicly on a podcast, on a video or whatever, and I don't say Corey's name. And usually I'll also say that the two bikes that inspired me to build that bike, that are these two individuals. They have nothing to do with that bike other than they were an inspiration. But the point is always like paying homage to where that shit comes from. I pay homage to you all the time throughout my podcast over the years for you helping me start mine. You know what I mean? So I think that it's we can always kind of grow. But to your point, you should always be giving credit to the people that did it before you, or the people.
Yeah,
that
if you're
helped you.
aware of it. I think there's a lot of times where you take stuff in and you're not even aware that it affected you. And it's in there. You saw it done this way, but you didn't realize how much it affected you at that time until you get to the point where you need to recreate something in that vein, and then it comes to you. I'm sure my chopper was inspired by more than David Mann paintings, but that's the only person I could think to
Yeah.
Really, it was also like the shit that was all I had, or it was limited resources as well. But, you know, I'm sure that other things were built the same way because of limited resources.
Yeah, I think that's the.
But I guess what I'm saying is like, you don't always know what affects you in the moment. It's like when you talk to a musician in their heyday, they're like, fuck, I don't know what that song's about, dude. You know, like, I was going through, you know, people don't even realize this shit as it's coming out of them because they're like, they're so just fucking, you know, in that thing, dude, you know, and it's just coming through them, but it's coming from someplace else.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think everybody's aware of it. And you can like, you know, even people may think that it's their own style or that they created it when they didn't, you know. I don't think that's like, I don't think that that's like disrespectful to some degree. You know, it can be if it persists to some degree, but.
Yeah, I don't think it's disrespectful either at all. I mean, I feel like it's just literally, you know, most musicians liked other bands and their style is built up of all the things they like. Mm-hmm. Most artists, same thing. You know, I like this, and this. Whatever you do, you build bikes, you do this, you do that. You're kind of a collection of all your inspirations, right? That's your unique version of it. But there is a little bit of pepper and salt and all these other things that make this flavor.
I guess what I'm saying is some people, unlike you, right, where they have inspiration, but they don't acknowledge it because then it would affect what they're doing. Where you can acknowledge it and say, I'm doing this because of that.
Yeah.
Where some people are like, they may not have done it that way if they'd have realized that they got that idea from this person or that person.
Oh, okay. So it's just subconsciously they're being inspired by things and they're not drawing the connections between all the two.
Correct, you know?
Yeah, for sure there's that. I mean, I think that there's definitely things that slip through the cracks of me that something I might have been inspired by that I saw at some point that I then did. But it's also like, I think what I hear a lot going on is people that aren't doing anything on their bikes other than buying it, but want to be builders or whatever the case may be. And every time they get a chance to be on some kind of podcast or public or video or whatever, they're like, yeah, I built this. And then, you know, you hear these horror stories about dudes that like did all the work or did all this and got no credit for it kind of shit, which I can sympathize with because in my early days in this industry, like I did a lot of shit, a lot of cover magazine bikes that I have no mention of my name in it. You know what I mean? And at the time, that was like, nowadays, you get your bike in a magazine now, it's cool. But back then, that was our way of like growing past our local market. You know what I mean? So it was a much bigger deal that if your bike or you got a bike in a magazine, that your name was standing behind the thing you did, you know?
Well, I mean, I know a bunch of builders and they don't know how to frame a house.
Yeah, yeah.
You know? And they never have framed a house. Yeah. They don't need to. They're still home builders, you know? They don't do any plumbing. But they're able to do everything it takes to bring all that shit together, you know, and to act like that you're not a builder because you didn't fucking chop your frame and weld it, or you didn't paint it, or you didn't align the rear wheel and build the spacers. You know, like that doesn't mean you're not a builder. And I don't agree with the fact that you can't, like, people get upset when somebody takes credit for something when they didn't do it all. This guy built those wheels. This guy's the one that actually chopped his frame. I was like, yeah, but this guy over here had the initiative and want to and the desire and figured out whatever it took to get him to do that. Now the guy's bitter later on because he didn't go, hey, if this ever gets in a magazine, you better say, hey, I fucking did this. Yeah, it's kind of fucking lazy. You know, like, I can see how you might feel that way when somebody ends up getting some benefit or some kind of recognition that you feel like you should get. But, you know, there's a lot of other things that go into that recognition, you know?
Yeah.
The guy put together the photo shooter, you know, met the right guy, said the right thing, shook the right hand, bought the right guy a shot, you know, flirted with the right, like, there's a lot of other things. And I think all of those things are part of being credited for building the bike, you know, and then those things can be used. You know, I guess where it gets to be bummers when somebody gets that recognition and then doesn't do something positive with it afterwards. But, you know, I mean, you know, born free invited builders, any invited builder, you know, like, who gives a fuck if they did every bit of work themselves? You know, when the final product, you know, looks rad and works.
I think we're saying the same thing, because my motto is always about it takes a village to build a motorcycle. You know, as much as I am trying to do more and more myself, I still have to rely on people, right? And I think everybody's that way. But I think what I'm talking about more so is just like there is, you know, the bike that I'm doing downstairs, the customer is literally the conductor, if you will, of what we're doing, because it's his ideas funneled through me into that project, right?
Yeah.
So he's just much as part of the build, like you're saying. But I think that, like,
And if it becomes a successful build, right?
yeah,
He gets credit for picking you.
yeah, exactly.
You know, like should he have to say Jace did all this work for me in the magazine?
But if it gets in a magazine and he
You
says
might want that, but should he have to? I don't know. He could have picked anybody to do that. Would he have gotten the product? Maybe not, but he's the one that decided you were the one capable of doing it.
I think back in the day, I think this was it was just an unspoken, like, yes, that's my guy. We always wanted to see everybody grow. Like, why would you want to take credit for something that you physically didn't do? When you look at a magazine,
But he did do it. If
No,
he's having you do it, he's providing the money
yeah,
to
but
get
when
you
you
to
see
do
that
it.
line that says, like, so does he say it's a so and so name motor instead of an S&S motor? You know what I mean? Like, what is the motor? What is the builder? Who painted it? What is the front end on this
Well,
bike?
when they start asking questions like that, yeah.
Well, those are the things that are in the build sheet at the end of it, right?
Oh, I don't know.
You haven't seen a magazine?
I mean,
I'm not saying that the owner doesn't get credit and shouldn't be. I mean, they are the most valuable asset of this process because they're the one creating the opportunity, right? But there has to be this aspect of, like,
well, I think the market will correct that, because when somebody comes at him to do something like that, and now he can't use you because he didn't give you credit in the magazine, well, he's not going to have the longevity. You know, the market will, you know, fix itself. It will, you know, it will end up giving credit, you know, except for the nice guy doesn't win, you know?
oh yeah.
So, and if he finds somebody else to do the same work and create the same product that has the same, you know, caliber or standard that he asked out of you, and he gets somebody else to do it, well, you know, I mean, then he did do it again, you know?
When I look at, like, the top builders that on my Mount Rushmore of, like, people that I am inspired by, I see them and I've gotten to meet all of them. The way they build bikes is like someone's coming to them for their style, their thing, that you can't really get that power plant style from Cut Rate. And you can't really get the Cut Rate style from Power Plant. But they have two unique things that, like, they're going to do their way, or a Hawk bike or something like that, or, you know, even a Long Brothers bike. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody has a unique style. You know, fucking Al Emerson, one of my favorite builders, right? So in a way that, yes, a customer is kind of picking the genre of style that they want and finding the person that fits that the best. Their vision is based on things that already exist. And if they didn't make the things that exist, then they are literally picking from a world of.
Yeah, but if they get somebody to do something, like if he gets you to do something you wouldn't normally do,
Yeah.
you know, then
Yeah, it becomes unique.
yeah.
Right.
What I'm saying is your style doesn't show through.
Yeah.
And if you are as good as Emerson or Yaniv or Oliver, then it doesn't matter who asks you to do it. It doesn't matter if your name gets mentioned in the magazine.
Yeah.
We can see,
Exactly.
you know, that person did that, which once again is just like, you know, the credit's there. May not be easy to see,
No, I
but
agree.
it will shine through in the end. Yeah, those guys are all fucking, you know, legendary and have their own style, you know, and I'm not trying to pick on you or anything, but like I saw those bikes out in California. You know, I don't have the eye for these things. I'm like, oh, they got fucking Bass Boat paint jobs. Jace could have painted these, you know, like these are performance baggers.
Yeah.
They got painted fucking Simpson helmets that match their bikes.
Yeah.
Fuck, Jace must have done this.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not good enough to pick out the nuances, you know, and I'm sure you're not the only one painting Bass Boat baggers all over the country.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't see that.
No, I understand. Yeah, I understand.
But Oliver's bikes, Man, I can see that, dude.
Yeah.
This shit's bad as fuck.
I love them all, man. They do cool shit, and you know, Oliver always like his old like his Doberman bikes that he did back in the day, and he's just got a unique look that I could have never ever created that. You know what I mean? Now that it exists, like I could create something like that. You know?
We didn't grow up the same way as he did, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
He's got a unique story, unique perspective, and you know, and a creative way of expressing it that comes out in a lot of different ways.
Do you find it like doing this podcast over these years, like, when you meet people and you get maybe inspired by them, do you find it hard not to like want to go down all these different rabbit holes in life and try something that maybe you heard about on the podcast?
I go down rabbit holes.
Yeah.
That's that curiosity, dude.
Yeah.
It gets piqued by error. It's what drives me to want to talk to people I do want to talk to, you know? It's because I'm curious about something. You know, I fucking got an adventure bike, and that was because I talked to somebody with an adventure bike and rode an adventure bike, and I fucking love that shit. You know? No, it absolutely does. But I would say more than that, it's like, you know, being able to talk to so many people, and like, even when I'm not curious about it, you know, but still knowing that they have something that is valuable to share. And I don't mean valuable in a monetary way, but like, you know, there is something I can learn from this person, even though, you know, they are painting baggers bright colors. You know, like I know there's still something here, you know, in being able to be open to that, you know, and see that instead of my narrow-minded as, well, fuck, dude, I guess we're not going to talk about how to get across the border in Mexico right now. You're like, you don't have any experience doing that. And, you know, when's the last time you went through Nuevo? I want to talk to somebody that went through Nuevo Laredo last week, you know?
Yeah.
I want to know how that is right now. You know, but to look beyond that and see things from a broader perspective, you know, and go into the podcast with a mission while also being open to see where it goes and see what the person wants to talk about and expand upon whatever that may be.
I dig it.
While I'm still like, I just want to go to Mexico. I want to go get some. Right now, I don't have a good cowboy hat.
Yeah.
And dude, I can't bring myself to buy one in America because they're so much better and so much cheaper across the border. You know, to buy the hat I want here in America, it's like fucking $800 to $1,200.
Fuck.
Right, I know a place outside Monterey, I can get it for $100.
God damn.
And it's awesome to go there.
How you gonna get it home?
Wear it.
Wear it on
Fucking
the bike?
strap it on the bike, dude. Same way I got my last one home.
Sick.
Strap it to the back seat.
I mean, look at Nick. He has that big ass hat and the feather.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, he goes through those motherfuckers like one or two a year, dude. He just got a new one recently. I don't know if you've seen it yet, but it's not quite as decorative. Doesn't look as dirty. I meant to ask him that when I seen him the other night.
Yeah.
Like, when did you get this? This is a new one. This is a new one. We'll ask him this weekend.
I need to have him on again. We haven't talked in a while on the podcast.
Oh,
He's
Nick's
full of
fucking
such
on
good
it,
stories.
dude.
Yeah.
He's going camping at the LBJ Grasslands this weekend, which is like about 20, 30 miles north of Decatur.
Yeah. That's where the Denton dudes invited me to go camp there, but it was like I had some shit going on. I couldn't go, but yeah. Sounds cool as hell.
The LBJ, I've only been up there to shoot shit, but I don't think I've ever camped there. Well, no. I don't camp that close to my house unless I'm going to my fish camp.
Yeah.
You know, I can fucking just ride home from LBJ. It's just right there.
It's just right there.
I'm just going to ride up Saturday morning.
We got all that. Yeah.
Am I making you tired, Jace?
Nah, I do.
Tired? Getting yawny? What time is it?
I stayed up late last night. I was working. I was editing photos till like 1 a.m.
Dude, where are we going to see your photos?
Fuck if I know. Harley owns them all.
You just submitted them all? Send them over an email?
Well, Taylor messaged me and said, "Hey, just wanted to check in because I have to write a blog by tomorrow too."
Sick.
So I'm like kind of stressed about it because like the whole weekend I thought about what I wanted to say, and then last night I jumped on Harley's website where all the blogs are. Read some of Chicken Rick's.
Have done that.
And I'm like, God damn it!
Done that.
All this stuff is just like it feels. like just this is what they ask for, this is what they get, instead of like truly like trying to say.
Don't worry about what they have. Worry about what you got to give them in the best way you can do it. And then when they water it down, then you can be like, well, I gave them the good stuff.
Yeah.
And they turned it into this.
Yeah, I have to have that delivered by tomorrow.
I got to write another article for Choppers Magazine.
I've been, me and Carrie have been around each other so much, and we've talked about doing a podcast, and it's kind of like the David Brown thing where I wanted him to get to know me and open up to me a little more before we sit down and do one. But very interested to do that documentary they did on him, the Origins thing was pretty dope. Watching that whole thing, you know.
Yeah, that guy's a pretty good storyteller, isn't he?
Yeah, I like
Carrie's got a great story. Carrie's just got great people around him. He's a family man. Yeah, I enjoy the time I get to spend with him.
Yeah, and until I watched that Origins, I didn't know his relationship with Easy Rider over the past, the magazine stuff, and a lot of the things that I've always said, like, man, if I do a magazine, it's kind of the same shit he said that he wanted to do whenever he took over Choppers magazine. So, I'm interested in it, man. Like
he's fucking lets me do whatever I want now.
Yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm riding a street glide. He's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm like, well, in this, I'm only fucking riding new adventure bikes. He's like, I don't give a fuck. You can do whatever you want in the Choppers magazine. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can go. I think he wanted me to do one on DMT, Dangerous Motorcycle Tours. And I'm like, there's not a fucking chopper anywhere, dude. It's all suspension, fucking fuel injected adventure bikes. He's like, whatever.
Well,
I think the one that just came out is the Trans Am that I did in September on the 21. And then the one that's fixing to come out is the PCH to Ventura for Chopper Fest. And I think he's already asking for another one.
That's awesome.
I'm like, what do I want to do one on that fucking B&B trip to Metairie for the Christmas party and show that fucking motorcycle we blew up. It was like, what, a fucking Christmas story in August or some shit? Or June or July, whenever. I guess, I don't know. Yeah, who knows?
I dig it, man.
Okay, let's wrap this thing up. I got shit to do. The rain's not raining. Jace, thanks for having me out. Thanks for reminding me I've been doing this for almost 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you fucking taking the torch and, you like got all the cameras and lights and shit. You got Jamie over here.
Well, if you ever need to use it, you can bring him over here.
No. It's 2 hours. 2 hours too far. Thank you.
All right.